And there's like, I was thinking about that too. Like, I feel like one day, like somebody's gonna figure out how to just like, I have no idea how. Somebody's just gonna figure out how though to integrate all of these streaming platforms into one, because all they're doing is swapping out the same movies. And what they're going to do is the same thing that every monopoly realized. They're going to realize that they're better signing an agreement instead of being in competition the entire time. Might as well just notch out what you want, take the country, split it up. But the problem is, you keep talking about these streaming. Now, see here, the issue is all of there's everything that streams is subscription based, and that's what they judge your stock off of. That's what they judge your company off as subscriber growth. But eventually, there's only so many subscribers, and you're going to reach a point like Netflix was 8.6 million last quarter, and this quarter was 8.2. So 400,000 people, but you still got 8 million people. That shit took a dive. $50 because of that. You know, how can you keep bringing new subscribers? Right. The problem is you can't give us enough entertainment. You'll never be able to. Like, think about like Netflix's like biggest thing, which was like the most recent, right? Was like Don't Look Up. Don't Look Up with DiCaprio, right? That was like the most recent thing. Everybody loved it. A lot of people loved it. Had plenty of talk. And we forgot about it already, man. We're on to the next thing. We need almost a new movie every day. And right now, Netflix gives you a new movie every week. But it's just not enough. And that's $8 billion. It takes $8 billion for you to give me 52 movies.
Especially nowadays, like, you know, I mean, I remember things going a lot further when I was younger. Right now, when we were younger, we'd still be talking about Squid Games right now. You know, we'd still be on the whole Squid Games thing. We'd be having Squid Games Valentine's parties right now. But like Squid Games, highest grossing Netflix ever. That's already forgotten about, you know? No one's even talking about. It's not even like people were having. I mean, it was everywhere. You had videos, Twitch streamers, people making games left and right here. People actually doing it in real life, playing their own type of version of Squid Game and shit like that. Parties, costumes. You might as well fucking forget about it, you know? But I mean, like, it goes down as probably like one of the most watched, like, biggest kind of like cultural icons. But I mean, like, they have like less impact nowadays. Like, I remember, like, I don't know, like,
what do you think it is?
Maybe, I mean, just cause maybe it's the sheer amount of consumption we're doing. I don't know. I mean, like everyone sees the memes. You run out of a series, you finish the season, you finish the series, and then they feel empty inside. So now they're looking for the next series or next, you know, good thing to binge watch and watch it again. Or they watch it again. You know, I mean, most people watch the same thing over and over and over again. I think it's just the amount of consumption that we're doing nowadays and the access to it. Back then,
I agree.
You didn't have that many streaming videos. You had to buy it on DVD, which was a whole thing. And then even then, you probably would have watched it with the one DVD, and then you had it in your collection. Maybe a friend came over or some friends came over, you'd watch it again. That's about it. But I mean, now, like I said, you're going to the next thing. On to the next thing.
You know how bad I feel when I go to somebody's house and you see their 1,000 DVD collection of Blu-rays, VHS, whatever it is. Well, I can't say much about the VH1s and shit because those can be classic.
That's a different
there
thing.
is certain spot like Chas and Jen got a few. They've got a few. I can't remember the exact ones, but it's like them old ass ones, like that are even worth money now, like the Orange Rugrats.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, so there is ones that I guess hold their value, but like, you know, people used to get them DVDs from Walmart. Five for 50 and shit. You know what I mean? More than that. They were like $20 sometimes for a Blu-ray one.
When they first came out, I mean, like, you were spending $15 on a DVD.
I remember we used to be happy as shit, man. I used to go to Rodney's house. He'd be like, man, my mom and dad, they're fucking buying a Blu-ray today. We'd be like, what? What they getting? And we used to fucking sit all around, be happy and shit, watching this fucking Blu-ray on this PS2 or PS3, you know, and just be like, wow, man, you know, and that shit was expensive as fuck. And those went obsolete in a span of 5 years.
I mean, less than that, bro.
You know what I mean? It was just like, I got a collection. No, you don't.
People were like, "Are we improved the DVD?" Or even some games were on those Blu-ray disc type things, you know. And then next thing you know, it's just you have high quality, high speed streaming, and it's done. It is dead. I mean, Netflix was as early as what 2012, 2011 now,
something like that. Yeah.
Blu-rays are what
a play.
2008, maybe to 2010. I mean, tops. And that's the thing. I remember getting Netflix DVDs like my sister signed up for. I remember being like, what's this bitch doing? She's rich. Because I never had the Netflix shit, So when she moved, she got Netflix DVDs. I'd go over there and be like, "We got Netflix DVDs come to your house? That's crazy. It's awesome." And that's what they started off doing. And they just moved the streaming. I was just fucking exploded.
I watched the business war on Blockbuster versus Netflix, and dude, Blockbuster just had no clue, just no clue what was happening. Didn't believe in the technology. You know what I mean? Played their cards wrong. Opened more stores when they should have been closed. And like we were talking about that before, like with movie theaters, or like you got to know when to sell, right? Like you got to know when to get out of there because
or evolve.
Evolve, but it's only so far you can go.
I mean, Blockbuster could have been like, look, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna compete on a streaming platform.
Now you got to close all your stores.
You could have had Blockbuster. They would have probably closed, yeah. But I mean,
that's
then you would have been a block. Then we would have a competitive streamer. It could have been a different landscape in streaming.
I agree. I'm just arguing.
Who knows?
That's L.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Big man. Because they were huge. I remember going to Blockbuster, and I remember the first time I went, I'm just like, what, like, because again, I didn't have a car, so I mean, I never went to Blockbuster. You'd go walk in there and be like,
and I'm not even blaming because like, what the fuck would you do? Trying to come up with ideas and not complaints. It's like I'm thinking about like, okay, what if I gave you this card? What if I gave you this card and I just made like a walkthrough Redbox, right? You just got this card. You come in here, you don't even interact with no one. You just swipe which ones you want. At the end, you get 4. You know what I mean? Something like that. But that still wouldn't beat you being able to do that at home.
And you don't see Redboxes anymore either.
No, absolutely. So, came and won.
Yeah. So
made money, I bet. Made a profit.
They probably cashed real quick.
Probably made a profit.
Yeah. I bet they cashed in mostly on people losing the shit. Because it would charge you every day for 30 days. And then at that point, you pay 3 times over for whatever it was worth. You paid for whatever it was worth. So, I mean.
I remember being full used to go there. We're renting out 2-player campaign games. Bro, one time we're so excited, bro. We got some drink, we got some buds. Yeah, we're heading back to the crib. We're like, staying at $5. We had to get the 2K. 2K, I think it was like 2K19 came out. 2K19 start a season. You know what I mean? We're going to get it, bro. I remember we got this bitch, didn't pay no attention, bro. When all we home, open it up. Lied to you not, bro. It was straight up a paper printout of the front of 2K, dude. It was a piece of paper in there, but somebody literally cut it in there and traced it around. And I was like, look, I didn't get got. I pressed the button. It is what it is. How did the machine pass this, dog? Because he's always said there was like this barcode in there.
A chip or something that it was there.
Yeah, but like, I was just like, that don't make no fucking sense. After that, I didn't get right back.
It stopped me from trying it once, and then once I see it's bullshit, hey, it's all fair. It came from there. That's probably why they went up, because they were just like,
it's done.
Yeah,
they made money that bet.
Oh yeah, they have to make some money.
You know what else I was thinking about? You ever see those like underwater jet skis? Yeah, they be going like 100 miles an hour.
You put your feet.
No, not that one. Not the backpack.
The ones you hold on. You hold on to it.
It's like a tube. Yeah, it's like a real.
I saw it looked like a handheld device. This one was more of like
that's what it is basically. Okay, but you're enclosed.
I've seen something. I know you could go 100 though.
Yeah,
that's
so this is like a 2-seater. I figured you'd seen it, so I didn't set that one. But
this is like a
though. Yeah.
That sounds stupid.
I mean, they can go 100. I don't know. I guess it would be 0 to 100.
Crazy.
But yeah, but listen, right? So it's like a rocket ship almost, but it got a spear at the front. And
okay.
And it's a 2-seater. It almost looks like an F1 car underneath. And
I've seen that, yeah.
It's got like airplane handles like that. And I was watching this video where these guys are going 100 miles an hour underwater. And I'm like, bro, there's no way you don't know you're going to hit something. Right? Like, what if you go out in the water, you're going 100 miles an hour, and you're going to smack into a swordfish? Like, how would you know that's okay to go 100 miles an hour that way?
I mean, I'd imagine, like, you might crack the glass, but I imagine the machine would win. That's a heavy machine, I don't know. You get fucked up still, but.
Bro, I mean, is that
what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. 100 miles per hour underwater is insane.
50 miles underwater is crazy, bro.
You can't even see. You go 30. It's like.
Yeah, I mean, we can keep going down. We can keep going down. But the point is that, like, what if you just crack something? You don't know what you're even going forward to. I just was like, there's just like, there's thrills, and then there's like, what the fuck do you not sign up for?
I mean, I don't know, man. People would be doing some crazy shit. I imagine at one point we will have some crazy underwater vehicles. You gotta start somewhere,
Well, I mean,
and
we-
you're gonna see people start somewhere. Just like
crazy
just like the dude,
vehicles,
bro. The first airplanes you see, you're just like, that dude's fucking insane. And
Bro.
you're like, he's gonna fucking die. And plenty of people did, I'm sure.
Oh,
But
yeah.
like, there's some airplanes eventually.
I mean, well,
He
come
may
on,
lay
bro.
the groundwork
We
for
got
like
fucking sonar that'll tell you if there's a condom on the floor.
underwater jet skis. That'll be like,
You remember
like
that guy?
that's what you'll
who's-
do.
Remember that guy who's seen that water underwater?
Mhm.
You remember that guy?
Mhm.
That was real. That was a real video. That was real.
Yeah, the
right?
salt brines. Yeah, the salt
What
brines.
the
Yeah.
fuck was that?
So I mean, I've seen those salt brines before, but that was the first time I heard of like any conspiracy related to them. You know,
What was the conspiracy?
that guy eventually was found dead, and that they're hiding something below those salt pools, the water underwater. You know.
Hmm.
So exactly, you know what I'm saying. So like, I like when I saw those things look insane because like you see like the mollusks around them, but like you'll see like I remember like they had a video like I'm not sure if these are real anymore or not. But there's a video of this eel going in and like it gets like shocked real quick, but it does float out. And eventually it comes to again. It's just like salty as fuck is what they say. It's saltier than like 99 times saltier than the ocean. So it's like denser and it sits there, pulls
Uh-huh.
up, and there's nothing that can go in and out. I think there's like one fish that can, but
It makes sense that a fish couldn't though.
yeah, especially if it was like that salty.
Going in your
It'd
gills.
be like acidic or some shit. Like you couldn't even breathe. Like yeah, exactly.
It's so sad because I want to think that like all these animals are conscious, and have like all this going on, man. But then it's like, no, that's swordfish one, bro. It's like that's tough. I mean, but then you see a dolphin, or you see a penguin, super smart, seal. Wow, all of these animals are super smart, but like, if I guess, say a whale was born and never seen a human, does it know humans exist? I guess that's what I'm asking.
I guess I would assume no, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just like if we didn't know whales existed, then I mean,
Right.
it would just not. We would have to find signs of okay, I found a whale, and then now it exists. But other than that, I'm sure you could think of a whale, but like you're not sure if that thing ever could imagine ever
But the
existing.
thing is about any logic question is that it's also a memory question, because there can be a lot of animals that are smart or could retain information, but are they able to, first of all, retain for a decade?
Yeah.
We're retaining shit for 7 decades now on average. You know what I mean? And then yet alone, like, do they have a way of passing it down? You'd like to think so. But like, does a shrimp have a way of passing it down? I never know how shrimp rebirth.
I mean, they say that like animals pass those genetics. Like that's like what survival of the fittest is and evolution. So like animals who are born with certain characteristics and genes, as long as they do the right thing, they survive and reproduce. So as long as they survive and reproduce, you keep passing on that information.
Right.
So like,
but they say a shrimp don't have a brain. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they said.
yeah. So I
Shrimp
mean,
don't have a membrane.
I mean, I would,
Maybe
like, I mean, like there are things that you get encoded, and those things. I mean,
I guess what we're getting to.
keep evolving and being passed on as long as you pass it on.
What is a justifiable kill? Is a justifiable kill any time that you are hungry? Is that justified?
So survival. I mean, I would say so. At the very core, I mean, that's what this planet is of. You know what I mean? So
Right.
like, if you go and secure something, you're starving.
You think it's like a human? Like
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
slaughter a human and eat them
Survival.
if you were hungry.
Survival. Yeah.
That you're talking like absolutely. That's the last thing to eat.
You can
would have
definitely,
to-
you can
would
definitely
do that,
justify.
right?
Yeah.
Right. Here's the problem. So then, like, there was a case like this where a guy got lost at sea for like 13 months, I think 10 or 13 months, something like that. And he was out there with a guy, and only one of them got found, which was this dude. And when they found the other guy, he was on this raft with him, and it was just bones, basically. He had deteriorated so much at sea, but his body was still on there. And I believe, like, I can't remember if that's even true. I can't remember if he threw those parts over or not. But he says at one point the body was on there. It decapitated to the point where it was like bones. I can't remember if it was still on there if they threw it over. But, he ended up writing a book and everything like this about being lost at this time. And he said that that guy had drank salt water because he was hungry, and then started going crazy and kept drinking more salt water, and basically like committed suicide. And that guy's family didn't believe him and believed that he ate him. Do you remember that story?
No, I don't remember the story. I'm just following you.
He believed that he ate him. And still to this day, I think nothing ever came of it, right? But it's like, you don't know. There's no way to prove it. So I'm guessing he threw the body off because they probably could have been able to prove it, that a body.
Yeah.
But they believed that he ate him out there. So then you talk about like, okay, well, here we are. We're talking about two people and they're both starving. Once you know who the loser is, right? That's the thing. Once you establish who the loser was, did they deserve to die? Because you could say, yeah, right, but okay, does a 50-year-old man who's starving have the right to eat a 10-year-old child?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like, not one of those things that like, you gotta definitely approach it for each one where it's like, you can't eat for that fucking kid. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like, I mean, again, you can't, say anything, but I mean, like, I'd say it'd be easy to say these guys probably fought over, or would fight each other,
right?
If it came down to choose it,
and that's fair. Now we're just talking psychology. Why wouldn't it be fair for that little girl to get to eat that guy?
I would say, I mean, like, it's like, they always say like women, women and children. So, the child would eat that man, ideally, and survive. It wouldn't be, to say, yeah, she should eat that guy.
Right, but here's what I'm trying to say is, so, you say this guy's starving. He's 50 years old. He's a soldier. He's starving. So he eats his 10-year-old.
Yeah.
And, and you justify it, let's say, right? The reason in my mind, that the 10-year-old can't eat the 50-year-old is simply the true fact that, he or she can't kill him, right? Can't beat that.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So then it's not fair. Right? It wasn't fair. How is it fair that he got to eat that little girl if she had no chance of beating him?
I say it's not, no.
Right, because they both were starving. You see what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If anything, it's like, I hopefully, it's like, I'd be like, I'm going to die. I'm going to kill myself, eat me.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
Eat me, right? It's like.
So that's what I was saying. So is it a justifiable kill? Because you could have sacrificed yourself and allowed the child to eat.
It's not, no way.
It's not a justifiable kill, right?
No, not at all.
Right, okay. So now what animal is a justifiable kill? That's the problem, right? Because we get into things like, okay, what does it take for you to say it's okay? What if you're not starving? What if you're not at that point? When is it okay? You say, okay, well, the first thing people say is like, this thing, it doesn't have a nervous system. They say that about certain things. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, okay, well, it doesn't feel pain. Well, I don't even think that argument has to be made on the contrary, right?
No.
It has a lot of other things. But then they say, well, it doesn't have a brain.
Yeah,
no.
Or
so where do you go from there?
Or has no emotion.
Right. So if something doesn't have a brain and it can't feel, is it okay to kill it?
I don't think necessarily, no. I think I would say like, it's like, it'd be for, survival, I mean, that's the bare bones of it. Like,
but it's not always survival. You still have to live the next day. You're not surviving, but you still do need food the next day. So you're not don't reach a point of survivor, right?
Sustaining, not over engorging. I mean, like, you don't want to eat too much. Like, that's, you would eat what you would need in a day rather than what we eat in a day.
Right. But you still would need something. You still need, like, you're a full-grown man, 200 plus pounds. You need a lot of substance. I mean, you need 5,000 calories. I don't know.
That's a lot.
3,000.
I mean, 3,000. I think for most people would be a lot, depending if you do a lot of work. If you work out a lot and stuff.
Let's argue something. I do know. Let's argue something I do know. Right? Is that you at least have to eat your own body weight in protein every day in order to gain muscle.
No, that's a lot of protein. That's a lot of protein.
That's true,
your own weight in protein.
If you want to gain muscle, you have to eat at least the amount of pounds you weigh in protein every day, bro.
Bro, think about that statement, bro. That's a lot of fucking.
Come on. No. When you're getting big, the muscle gain, bro. I'm telling you, that's what's recommended.
Your weight in protein,
bro.
That just sounds, bro.
Bro, bodybuilders eat way more than that. They eat way more than their weight, bro.
Bro, they do
Dude,
not
they eat fucking
fucking
80-gram protein shakes, bro. You know what I
but
mean?
what's 80 grams in terms of pounds?
They're
I'm saying that's 80 grams. That's a lot, but that's not a lot of weight.
No, that's what I mean. No, okay.
That's what you're eating your weight.
Not pounds. Grams equal to pounds you weigh. You see what I mean? Right. I thought that was
no.
Okay,
But
so
yeah,
great.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're 200 pounds, you need 200 grams of protein. Right?
That sounds like an awful lot, but again, I'm not sure.
It's to gain muscle, bro. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you what
I'm not sure.
I'm
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not an expert.
Because it means like I would take into account like, well, how much body fat should you have when you ideally, I guess would be a question, and then from there, how much body fat do you actually have? Well, then minus that, and then that's what minus your bones, and then minus your bones.
Settle with whatever
your muscles
you want.
around.
What do you settle on?
I mean, 200 grams sounds a lot.
So you settle on 160.
But I'm not sure.
You still need.
It's a lot of
they say
that's a lot of protein. But that would also make sense because they eat like fucking 20 chicken breasts a day, and that's a lot.
All of them
with a protein shake. So like, that's okay. Now that I'm thinking about it, I mean,
it's nothing, bro. Listen, every one of them bodybuilders eat at least 2 of those shakes a day. At least 2, bro. Those big ones like Bajoris and whatever and shit.
Usually 3 day.
You're talking about a 5,000 calorie, 60 to 80 grams of protein type of shake, bro, multiple times a day. That's not including the ribeye, the chicken, the rice, the broccoli. Not including all that, bro.
That's a lot.
If you want to gain, you have to eat this, right? So no matter what, that's what I always say. Like, right, for me, I don't take in much. Like, regardless, I could eat very little and put out a very lot, right? So in a village, no matter what, I know I always would be sacrificing because I'm never going. I don't know any man that'll eat those size portions that I eat and be okay with. I'm not even saying take less. Like, I'm okay with that,
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I meet a guy, right, that's even bigger than you. We go to a guy that's eating 4 of my portions. Right?
Right, so
right. So it's tough, right? Does he have to work 4 times as hard?
What I would do is I would provide everything extra that I would want to eat on top of whatever else was available. It's like, okay, well, if I want to keep those portion sizes, it's like, all right, well, I'll grow a little bit more. I'll get some more rice or something. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'll eat. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Won't eat. Yeah, that's what I would like to think.
Has to be a
but there's that
there,
guy
right?
where it's like.
Okay, so now let's say you're doing that, but you do need a lot more, and you have an entire garden to tend to every day, right? And you're just like, yeah, you're doing that, but I'm over here. I didn't work on the church, the hospital, went back ran some electric. You know what I mean? While you were tending to that garden that you needed for over sustainability. You see what I mean? Now your over sustainability is protecting your productivity. You know what I mean? So. I'm not saying everybody has to eat small portions. All I'm saying is that we know a lot of people. Like
I eat 4 times of someone else.
We know a lot of people are eating. Like I've seen people, bro. Like
I just think people would be more mindful, especially in a group setting. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, like I think about when I'm in a group setting, I'm just like, well, it's like I'll think about like I had to. I think mostly everyone else had to. And I'm a chill.
Do you think you would be mindful of women?
I've seen people not be mindful and just eat a bunch. I worked with one guy. We used to always get birthday pizzas. I remember there was this other guy's birthday. He got pizza. He eats late, so he waited. This dude just ate a shit ton of pizza and didn't leave any for the other guy. I was like, what the fuck? It's his birthday. That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
So some people do eat some crazy shit and we'll do that shit, but.
Like David Chow, right? We was talking about that thing, right? That was what that was about. That guy was eating a lot. They didn't know where they were going. They kept eating. You know what I mean? You're just like, whoa, bro. Like, I'm taking it away less. I'm accepting it. And
that's okay.
Good. Yeah, I was just gonna say you want to indulge. Yeah.
That's what always that's what I think about is like, like you see someone doing that and like you think about what you're doing, and you feel like you're getting cut shit right there. It's like, dude, it's like I'm over here and I'm also being mindful. I eat less, than what I would normally want to, than what I want to. So I make sure everyone else eats a little bit. But I don't see you doing that. And that's where it's like,
right.
And
the thing is, right, is that throughout time, right? Throughout time, bigger people have always had the counter card of, well, I'm strong. So when it comes to big things, I'll be the one that can do that, right? But now you got people that aren't fat because they're strong. They're fat because they're fat. You know what I mean? So we have a different. You had like it's a whole different understanding of like what that entitles now, right? Like for example, right? I'm gonna put names out there, but one time I was running from the cops, bro, with one other person who was not as fast as me. And I'm not even that fast, but was not as fast as me. Gets caught. I feel bad. So I come back because I felt bad he got caught, but I always thought, man, if that guy, here's what. Think about when me, you, and Nebby was running for that guy when we skipped school, right? And we're on that bridge. Me and you, and it's like, okay, we're trying to figure out a way. Then you have this wild card. This wild card is just like, oh, well, I see it as I'm going to jump. If we weren't who we are to be able to think it through, you'd be climbing that fence before he got to the top. You know what I mean? Like, you would already be like, yeah, you're right. You know what I mean? But instead, you're like, oh, well, I guess, you understand how much danger you had to encounter to reach that point. You're like, yeah, that decision's on the table. But it's got to be to the point where it's too pressing. I literally got nowhere else to go. We're like, right now we can play a couple different cards. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep that one on the table.
Yeah.
But that's an absolutely last straw. And he jumps. You see what I mean? He jumped, right?
Yeah.
He jumped, bro.
Yeah,
so
I'm
now
sorry,
you're
go
at the
other way.
point of like, okay, well now you care about this person, right? I'm sure this happens a lot of times in war, bro, where people, somebody makes a dumb mistake. That'd be selfish or low IQ. And a good soldier comes back because you can't leave someone behind. You're like, I'm here with this person. I like this person. I love this person. I want to make sure they're good.
He won't leave me.
But this is what exactly. You never know, right?
Yeah, you don't.
That's the thing,
You don't.
So you're like, well, I want to go back for this guy. I bet a lot of good men died doing that. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was thinking about that the other day. Like, the ones that you really got the shit under the stick are those people that were in war, and like are just severely outnumbered, and it's all crushing in. They're calling for support, but it's not coming. They got no more weapons left. They're running low on morale, low on supplies. And I was thinking about with Afghanistan, that the last sergeant I remember that Al Qaeda had killed. That guy was there. That sergeant was like prestige, apparently. Like had been in multiple battles, defended versus multiple countries, and they left that guy in a town basically to fight all of Al Qaeda with like 60 men. And he's calling for backup apparently for like days, like 3 days before he's like, they're coming, and just nobody never comes. And they tell him to stick it out basically. And he does. He stays there, bro. They take that whole entire town, kill everyone. I was just thinking like, man, like this guy is just like, he's just got, I don't know how else to describe it, but now I'll just describe it as dog, right? Because that's just the best way. That dog in him, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, I don't even know what's going on right now. I don't know if this is the right reason, if I should do this or not, but like, I don't retreat. You know what I mean? Like, this is my post. Regardless of anything, nobody's going to take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, think about if you were holding a military post and you were mad at the people above you, right? You wouldn't let a civilian come up and just start grabbing your guns.
No.
You still would be like, get the fuck off the base. And, only people in the army would be allowed in the base.
Yeah,
still,
exactly.
It's like, it's not just a fuck whatever. You know what I mean? It's still pretty serious. It still has intertwined there, even if you say fuck them. So it's like, oh, the government didn't come. They didn't send the backup, but we're right here. And I'm going to do what it takes right now. It's just, crazy.
So I'm coming fresh off watching Band of Brothers, which of course,
great.
Amazing series.
Great.
Especially, the one thing I'm thinking about is when they're in Bastogne and they're in the forest. They're just in the foxholes. It's cold as shit out. They have no supplies. They come up, they keep talking to the colonel. Colonel's just like, hold the line. That's your order. Hold the line. They're sitting there holding the line. They got no fucking supplies. Doc's running around for syringes and medical supplies, trying to gather every fucking thing. Yeah, exactly. They're just holding the fucking line. And eventually, they will push forward. And continue on their. I can't think of anything else. And I also watched The Pacific. You've seen The Pacific?
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing. They're on those fucking islands. They're in fucking knee deep mud. They're all muddy. They're constantly wet. The morale, you're cold in Bastogne, you're in these foxholes, you have no food, no hot food, Maggie Rice. It's just like, what the fuck? What the fuck are we doing here? But still, you have to survive, and you gotta watch out for your brothers. You know?
And those were our best men, bro. Those are the men who stepped up to the top of the line, right? With the top of the line skill sets. Could have been
lying to get in,
bro. All of this shit, right? Could have been anything in the world, dude, and did that for what? To get fucked over. 22 veterans kill themselves a day. 22 veterans a day, bro.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Insane, dude, to
Yeah.
think about those type of numbers. Can't get help, fall for this country, you know. I wish that those people would have went somewhere else in life because I know they would have been more productive. Not everyone, of course, you know. It's good for people, bad for people, but
Yeah.
a lot of those people I think could have went and been with that same mentality, man. That dog mentality of like, man, if you could survive what you know what you were just talking about, that in the trench hole, man, nothing left, you know, low on supplies, ammo, everything. You could survive those moments, bro. You couldn't be a manager at a fast food spot.
Man.
You couldn't be a CEO. You couldn't sell cars. You know what I mean? Like you had a lot of talents, brother. You just had to figure out how to reach that point. Unfortunately, you had to be backed all the way into a corner at the point of life or death for you to show that true dog in you.
Mm-hmm.
But that dog was in you. You know, we just got to figure out how to get it out of people, how to get that dog out of them positively, you know, in a positive manner, let's say, you know, instead of, okay, because you see, like, look at that person that just got busted killing that police lieutenant's husband, bro.
Yeah.
18 years old.
Yeah.
18 years old. That boy's a dog. Went and blew a fucking execution style lieutenant's husband. That boy's a dog, bro. Think about what that took. The decision, the balls, you know, everything that took. That boy could have been something else for sure.
All at 18.
He's got, you know what? If he ain't got nowhere else to go, then we will put him as a general. He's the perfect general. You know what I mean? This boy's ready to make, you know, we have to make a move, let's say, but we have to be able to channel that some other way, dude. You know, instead of them getting convinced on this evil side to show that dog in them. And then that dog's like, okay, now you're not fighting for the good of man.
You gotta be a dog for good.
Exactly. The good dog.
Yeah. Dog for good.
You know what I mean? My dogs are good. You know what I mean? Like, friendly. My dogs are friendly.
Yeah, I mean, to channel that energy, because I mean, that is like a next level thing. I mean, like, you know, to be able to, like, I mean, like, properly, you know, channel those types of people. I mean, like, I always try to think, like, you know, you want to, like, revamp kind of like how you would do like education. Like, how would, like, I was trying to think the other day, okay, you know, the system in place, you know, it's like, okay, this is what it is, but, you know, is there a way, like, would I be able to think of a better structure or environment, you know, than something like that? And I'm sure you can, you know, learn in different places. I'm sure you can do stuff more physically. I'm sure there's other teaching methods and a wide variety of those things. But kind of like you wouldn't want to make something like where like people have to go and like dedicate their time and force their time into these kind of like education camps. Like, you don't want to make people have to go to where, like, okay, well, now if you don't go, well, now your mom can go to for truancy, you know, your child's not showing up, and then now we can come in and take the child, a whole other thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't want to go there. Like, you know, it's like, why, I mean, like, you want everyone to get education, but you don't want to force people in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, force people in this bitch is how we get, like, you know, some terrible schools. You know, people don't want to be there. Right. You know, it's like,
but you can easily just think about, just, you know, sum it up real quick. Bam, get to the point where they're at, and then think about the precedents that's set to that point, you know, in a realistic way, not spiritual, all planet style, earth here, government talk of being like, okay, well, same thing you just said, shouldn't have to. So then are you allowed to not teach your child at all the entire time they're born?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So now we're fucked because people are choosing that. People choose that. You know what I mean? So you're like, fuck, bro. You're fucked, man, because some people are going to neglect. So now we're at the point of, we're going to step in. Are we going to step in and take custody from people? You know, that's what I'm saying, bro. You're at the point now. That always goes back. I hate doing it, but you're at the point now where you have too many people. You cannot handle this many individual problems, bro. Ideally, like, that would be notified on a block. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no one to go to. You know, it's a community law, basically, in these little segments. That's why I'm saying it has to be little segments, bro, because eventually it gets to the point where it's like, well, who's watching the ones at the top, right? It has to. you have to be able to get punished by your neighbor. You see what I mean? You shouldn't be indicted through Congress because somebody caught you in a fucking 4-year scandal and then they ran it through 7 chambers of Congress and all this. Like, you should be judged by your peers. That's how I feel, you know? If I know, right, Steve lives 2 blocks away from me, I'm a lot less likely to want to piss you off, bro. Right? I'm a lot like know each other, whatever it is. You're a lot more likely to try to find those reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If not, you're gonna look for other ways, because Kevin Gates said it one time perfectly, where he said, you're comparing your real life to people's highlight reels. And that's what happens when you get this big, bro, is that you're always gonna have this person in this system that reaches the epitome. You know what I mean? And that person's gonna come from all types of hoods throughout America. And that one person makes out of 1,000, you know, and he becomes all of a sudden the golden goat of like what it means to make it out of here. You see what I mean? So like in those projects and those ghettos, everybody who's making it out is an athlete or a rapper. So everyone in there is going to try to be an athlete or a rapper. You know what I mean? Like, when you reach these poverty points, when you reach these trailer park points, right? You're with these fucking white trash people out in these trailer parks. They see the alcoholism, obviously. They're going to pursue alcoholism, right? So a lot of times when we're talking about school, bro, like I know personally for me, school was beneficial for me. Obviously, I agree with you. It was indoctrination. I think it's set up horribly. It's corrupt. But for me, bro, I was happy to go to school because you got away from what you're, living with, basically. You see what I mean? So now it comes to the point of like, it's not even the fact that school is corrupt. It's like the children that we're sending there, bro. This kid, like the kids that we're sending to these schools now, bro, if you do it even on what I'm thinking about, where we're trying to make this happen, say we're trying to make this happen on a block, right? Or 2 blocks, 3 blocks, or 4 blocks, a neighborhood. You're going to still have a woman or a man or whatever, for me, a woman, that is like known as a nanny. You see what I mean? That would take children so you guys can go out to a restaurant or, and you would give them something. You see what I mean? A trusted old lady. You're still going to have these people that you would trust, right? All that's gone, bro. All that sense of community is entirely gone. A lot of times, as we know, school is now a daycare. We can't afford the daycare, so we send them to school. Somebody to watch them so you can go work. And
then the people, I mean, even when you're in tight-knit communities like in Baltimore City, you have row homes. So you're living door to door right next to your neighbor. You guys walk out like 2 feet from each other from the same front fucking door.
Right.
With a fucking 6 inches of brick and wall between y'all.
But you drive your kid 40 minutes to Anne Arundel County to drop them off at daycare.
Yeah. Well,
you see what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, especially
because that's
nowadays.
The best daycare.
Especially nowadays, I mean, like, I mean, I was raised, it's like mind your business. It's like, well, that's kind of fucked up. If my neighbor's, doing some shit over here, it's like, or if someone on the same block's doing some shit over here, it's like, it's like, no, we need to do a lot less of that,
Listen to that fucking episode of fucking Crime Junkie, bro, that tells you about mind your own business, bro. That first one, dude, is like, dude, that motherfucker molested. It's like 13 kids in 2 years.
I watched the Kanka one first.
Yeah, watch the other one, bro. Motherfucker, dude, this guy molested like 14 kids in 3 years. Same thing, bro. Like they'd be riding on a bike or something, or hit him, pull him over, gun to him, molest him, killed one, like all types of shit, bro. This guy was known about, bro. What he did was known about. They linked it right to it. And just everybody at that time in that neighborhood accepted it as, well, they're alive. There's no physical harm. You see what I mean? That's how they thought at the time. He's not hurt, right? But now we understand, like, that is the beauty in what we're doing here, bro. Is like, no matter what, conspiracies I want to go with, like my neighbor, my person that I see every day, these people I interact with, everybody is like coming to more terms, bro. We're becoming better people in a lot of ways, man. And that's one of them. Like, I think a lot more people are inclined to say, like, if there's a problem like that, we understand what abuse can do to children now. Yeah. We understand domestic violence, Me Too, Black people, Spanish people, Native people. You know what I mean? Like, we have so much information. Like, I feel like, we really are pushing that. Our generation before us even, is really pushing that narrative forward of like, no, we know way more than we ever knew now. There's nobody, no race or nothing like that to specifically blame, bro. You know what I mean? Like, this shit is first come, first serve. Who won the battle? You know what I mean? Profit. Who wins the battle? Profit. Who wins the battle? Like that's the sequence, bro. You know, and there's a point where like, oh, you know, the thing. See, that's the thing. White, like when you meet other white people, a lot of them will try. Like you get to this point where like they think you could talk about these white topics openly, you know, and they're like, yeah, everybody always thinks it's white people. To me, that doesn't bother me none. Like if you told me Korea, the black person told me, they're like, yeah, it's because of you white people. You know, I'd be like, you know, I can argue that that's true. I can argue that that's true. If you want to stay on this side, like for sure, bro. White people. I like, you know, Chaz said to me, I love Chaz's quote she says, American boomers are the worst generation of humans ever born to the entire history of the planet. You know, and at first you laugh, yeah, and then she starts explaining, you know, about like, you know, really think about what they did. Think about, like we were talking about before, all those things you were talking about we have, what they sold to get there. I mean, you're talking about people who just turned a complete blind eye to all the wrongs they were doing. And I guess the point that she's making when she says they're the worst people ever isn't about like, are they the evilest, right? Because there's Genghis Khan and shit, but it's about the damage they were able to inflict because of the time in history. Yeah. So it's like, all right, we don't care about dropping nuclear waste or whatever the fuck it was.
So
you know?
boomers are after World War II, right? Like, you know,
I don't want to tell you for sure. For me, it's like 50, 60, 70. 50, 60, 70s. So you'll be 50. I'd say even 50.
I'm pretty sure like how it goes, like, you know,
and up.
They came home from World War II, you know, they start having that was all these men coming home, and then they started having babies and families and stuff, you know, after that. So you have 50s, 60s, you know. I mean, that's also kind of weird to like. It also correlates with all these fucking torn up war veterans coming home, and they all just start having hella sex and probably not even wanting babies. They're just having sex and just baby. I mean, there's a huge baby boom at that point, and I mean, like, probably got a lot of abuse in those motherfuckers too, man. From those World War II veterans, bro.
I could tell you some
fucked up or whatever the case may be.
I got a lot of shit to say after what you just said. Number one would be, you know, I learned some crazy shit, bro. You know, and just thinking about, you know, over 50% of sexual assaults and rapes, you know, are not even reported, bro. They're not even reported.
Okay.
So then, you know, you get into other things. Like today, I learned that nowadays, I don't know what that goes back to, but modern, you know, days, over 80% of domestic murders come from a person that had a cryptic app or network or spyware or eavesdrop, some system watching the spouse, bro. You know, and 75% of them apparently had just like eavesdropping. Apparently, like 3 out of 4 of domestic murders where like these people had access to the cameras. You know what I mean? And the woman wasn't aware. Kicked them out the house, but he was still listening to the cameras. Like there was one listening today. This guy had everything installed, bro. Knew her text, her calls, everything. This was the average guy that just cared so much. You know what I mean? Was so obsessed, bro, that figured out how to do all of this shit to this woman. And I just thought that was a crazy stat of like, man, that's where we're at nowadays. Like people can spy on you without you even ever knowing, bro, and they just target when they want to. Yeah. That's why I feel so important about being ready, man. Just being ready for this shit.
It was a big ass viral video. It was during COVID, and they were doing those video trials where people weren't even coming to the courthouse. And this woman and this man, they were on trial. She was on trial for domestic abuse. So yeah, he was on trial for domestic abuse for abusing that woman. And you know, thank God, you know, I think it was the prosecutor spoke up and was like, you know, Your Honor, I believe that the defendant and the plaintiff are in the same room. So they go in this whole bit where it's like,
I remember that.
Yeah, remember that one exactly
on a Zoom call.
Yeah, exactly. You know, where I'm just like, you know, look what these motherfuckers are going. I mean, especially COVID. It's like, you don't even fucking know. You believe they're right fucking next to each other.
Yeah,
intimidating this motherfucker. You know, just intimidating her.
100%.
At this trial.
And think about how bad it gets through. And then think about all the stories we know of people that, you know, shit has encountered with, dude. And just like how far that goes.
Like I said, thank God, like, you know, the woman that said something was, you know, smart enough to put that together. You know? Yeah. Whereas like most other people seemed unaware.
Right.
You know, not
very true.
You know, so it was just like, you know, wow.
It had me thinking, I was thinking about us, like, you know, me and you too, but like, bro, like we literally come. I mean, even our dads, but really like us, bro, we come from a generation of no dads, bro. Like straight up, bro, our dads left us behind, bro. Like the shit is so sad, bro. I was thinking about the day, like so many people I know, dude, do not have dads, bro.
Yeah.
And it just, man, it gets you emotional, bro. Like really, just thinking about first of all, like all the women that stepped up, bro. Whether it be mothers, grandmothers, like that's
Sisters,
like, dude, like no matter what, like that is the ultimate sacrifice for someone. We really do have an entire, generation of kids, bro, that were just
And
left behind by their fathers,
what do you,
bro.
what do
It's
you always hear?
crazy.
What do you always hear? Oh, I raised my siblings.
Literally,
My
dude.
sister raised me.
Had to
My
grow up
cousin
fast.
raised me. My grandma raised me. My aunt raised me.
Sad,
You
bro.
know,
Like,
it's
what
like,
happened, dude? You know what I
I
mean? Like,
do not know.
bro, and like it's crazy. Like I look back on it, and I was thinking about it, and just like thinking about like even when I was younger, bro. Like most of the people I knew who had two parents were junkies. They still were junkies. They just were still together. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Together
what
junkies.
happened, bro? Like what happened, bro? Like was it drugs? It just like
I
it's
mean,
just
that
crazy. You
seems
know what
like
I
it because
mean?
they call the '80s the crack baby generation. I mean,
But like, what? Then you get into people like some people smoked crack for years and then got clean, bro. And some people just never got it clean. I know, like maybe that's just statistics, but it's just like, wow, bro. I started thinking about this, like everybody I knew growing up, bro, like didn't have a dad or had a fucked up dad, or you know what I mean, something like that. Like it's why a lot of people had fucked up moms too.
Yeah,
It's not like it was always
no,
good.
it's not always the dad. It's not always just the mom, or
no,
sometimes
bro.
it's both of them. You're just like, God damn,
bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, it's crushing, man. Because I think about like, what really makes me sad, man. On a personal note, yeah, it's on full honesty. What makes me sad is like when I'm watching something. Like sometimes I'll be watching those shows, Survivor shit I like,
Yeah.
and you see like these people that get one phone call, and they're call their mom, or their dad. And they're always like, you got this. You're the best. You can do anything, bro. And I'm just like, I literally don't even know what that sounds like, bro.
No
Like,
reference.
it's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, bro, to be like if I got that call, like that's not even in my mind to call one. They're not even my top two. You know what I mean? Not top five. Like it's crazy. But just like some people just have like these people that are older than them that like they're whose number one priority is them, and like still to this day are like working and have things and just like care about this other younger person and keep looking out for them, or will pay for things for them still and sacrifice and give them knowledge. And like I just sit here and I go through things in life, bro, and it's like I have to Google it. Like, that's crazy, bro. I just like all my friends are my age. You know what I mean? I don't have no uncles or aunts or nothing like that. Like just my older sister, but like she's only but so much older than me. It's like you just get to this point where it's like, damn, bro, it's just it's depressing, bro. You know what I mean? Like shit. I wasn't depressed about it until I thought about it, and then you're like, well, it's kind of fucked up that other people have that. You get to this point of like, damn, man, you reach like resentment and shit like that. Like now I'm resenting people. I'm even less likely to forgive because I'm hurt. You know what I mean? So I'm like, why would I want to heal people that hurt me? There's like this weird line of like, I don't know, bro. I just want to be something so different. I want to be a grandparent, bro. Like I want to be a grandparent and be like, I want to have a grandchild in this life. And for them to be like, my grandpop was everything to me. You know what? Like I thought about it, bro. And I was like, man. I want that. You know what I mean, bro?
Yeah, I've never got that far, man.
Yeah, bro. Like I was thinking about it, I was like, because I don't have that. Yeah. Like all these people, like I told you about them shows. A lot of times them shows are what do it for me. And like they're gonna call, like, oh, my grandfather just died. And these people fly all the way home, they're crying the whole time, just like another one that's just like ain't there. I'm like, I want to be that for someone, bro. I want somebody to feel like that about me. I want to be able to give that feeling to someone, for them to know, like,
Granddad
how
was the
much
best.
But what is it that's about that, right? It's the fact of like how much that person loved them, bro. They know that person encouraged them so much throughout the whole point of their life, not for a portion of their life, was constantly encouraging them, helped them every point of the way. That's why that hurts so much when people lose, because like for me, literally, I look at it and I'm like, old people die. That's literally how I feel. Like old people die because I don't have that. But then I see, Kay's grandmother, your grandmother, and it's like, bro, it's a whole different attachment of being like, there's this person, that is older than me and cares more about me than they do themselves. I want to be that for someone. I want someone to know that I got them like that, because I didn't have it. So like, I
want to give that.
I want to see what it looks like in a child for them to know they got that.
You're gonna cry, bro.
Yeah, you know what I mean, bro? Yeah. Like for my grandchild, like know that they got that person. Like that I will bite off faces, or work my hands to the bone to be able to give them every opportunity. And that's what I was telling you before. Like in my mind, it's not about me. It's about giving that opportunity, bro. Because if I don't do that, my bloodline's gonna die. My bloodline will die somewhere off of nothing, bro. Like literally preserving the bloodline type of shit. Like gotta branch off that family tree, from a fucking pine cone that dropped, plant that tree next to it, and be that fucking branch, that strongest fucking branch, that stump.
That's
that
what, bro.
Needs that, bro. It's crazy.
That's
gotta be a great feeling, bro.
There's a lot of people coming to work and they have a lot of like ancestry stuff going on where they trace back family. I mean, like they also have like great grandparents that are like alive still. They're like 80. Their grandmothers, their great grandmother's like 60, and their grandma's like some young, bloodline. But like, they trace their shit back, and like they have like such a clear record of like where shit is, where it came from. But like I can only go back maybe like twice and very shortly. Like it's just a direct line. There's 2 people there that I know of. It's like it's and that's it. That's how far back I can go. And that's only my mom's side. You know what I'm saying? It's like on the dad's side, it's like I have no fucking clue. You know what I'm saying? It's like the connection that you have, like, and to the people before you and your family, like, I think is deeper than like a lot of people realize. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what that can do for people. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't even realize it. That's the thing, like, bro, like, I mean, I'm not. I hate even saying anything like that because I feel like a fucking loser. I don't like being that guy. I don't want anybody to feel bad for me. Instead, I'm gonna, do double tip and fucking shut that up. But like me personally, bro, I have literally like 2 family members, dude. Like 2 family, my sister and Rodney. That's my cousin. Like that's the family I have, bro. I have literally no branches. No branches. Like I have aunts and uncles. I don't talk to them. I don't see them.
Yep.
Like might see them every once in a while. I've never known them like that. So there's no that's another thing is like a lot. It's always been like that too with a lot of my friends. Is like we know our aunts and uncles, but it'll always be like, oh yeah, I went over my aunts and uncle's house. It's never like, oh yeah, my aunt and uncle comes over every week. And we hang out, or I do this. We go out to eat with my, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a consistent thing, type of thing. So it's wild, bro. Just thinking about how like my branch right now, bro, is a dying tree. Like that's how I see it. It's like it's a dying, sagging tree of like the last few members breaking off. Like even my sister, bro. That none of those are null. You said like literally, bro. Like the only thing stopping me from getting drafted is one cousin. I have one other cousin named Noel, so it would be one of us, I guess, during the draft. That's it. That's a boy. It has to be a boy. One other one. So like that tree is ready to just die off. It's all women or men that have fucked up.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's like I gotta, water that bitch. And sometimes you gotta trim the leaves. You trim a yellow leaf, right, so that the rest of the fucking branch can get water again. And that's what people in my family don't get. Because you reach these points where it's like, bro, you think shit's easy. That's like people always tell me, bro, it's so offensive. It's so crazy because people think I'm offensive, but then they say shit to me, they don't even realize it's offensive, right? So like a lot of people say to me, they're always be like, I wish I could be like that. When they talk about like how I'll be like logical towards something with feelings, right? They're like, I wish I could be like that. I'm like, what do you think that means? That I'm a robot? That I didn't feel it? No, I'm a human. I'm smarter. I'm progressing. I felt it. I processed it. And I made the most logical decision for my future. What part of that can't you guys get? The fact that we're at this dying tree part is that you made that decision so many times and fucked it up so many times. Bro, both of my dad has 6 siblings, my mom has 7 siblings, something like that. It's like fucking 15 of them. You know, just so many of them fucked it up, bro. And now here you are expecting me to make that decision to fuck it up again, to do all the things that you guys regret. You want me to make that decision because it's the right thing to do? It's not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is for me to recognize that this is a plague. You know what I mean? That this DNA has curse in it. You know, alcoholism, drug use, heart disease. These things are hereditary, they say.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
literally are in your DNA, bro. Statistically, one of my sisters was gonna be a drug addict. Statistically, that's what they say. 33%
Yeah.
is literally what they say, bro. And it was. You see what I mean? Like, we have to find a way to do this, bro. And to do this, it isn't gonna be eating fucking lollipops and walking in sunshine, bro. It's gonna be making that hard decision to say, you know what? I love you. I care about you. But I've got to do this so that what you did here can be better. You know what I mean? Because if I do this, I'm taking steps back. You see? And that's where I get offended when people even present these situations to me. Because you're bringing up situations that you're well aware of will set me back. But you will willingly watch me do it. So how much do you really care about me? You know what I mean? If you really care about someone and you see that they're doing something dumb, you stop them from it. Or yet alone, you don't bring it to them. You know, a lot of these situations, bro, I don't even know these people anymore. Other family members that I still talk to bring the situation to me. These people don't even know me anymore.
Yeah.
You know? And now you're expecting me to do the right thing that no one else would do. So when someone burns you 50 times, because you're a good person, you're supposed to forgive them. And you're supposed to, do whatever you can to help them when they're at their worst. You know, there was a process, bro, of 10 steps. And every fucking step, I said you're making the wrong one. I said you're making a bad decision. I went the opposite way on 20, 30 steps before this. I told you this 10 years ago that this was the outcome of your decisions. And you lived it out and enjoyed it and played it out. And now here you are eating your words, having to live from all your decisions and having to suffer your consequences. And someone is supposed to do you a favor, give you a handout because it's the right thing to do. No, bro. No. You know what I mean? We will be generous. We will not be gullible.
Yeah. No, all day, bro. All day, man. I mean, like, there was a lot of things, leading up, especially, before my mom passed away. She went through a lot of, different health problems. I mean, she, she started, she was still, she recovered and she eventually relapsed. She was alcoholic and mixed with diabetes. I mean, that's just a whole slew of issues right there. And I mean, like, there was times where, like, it's like, I'd probably be the third call, before my other, two sisters. And, she called me, it'd be like 3 in the morning. Like, I didn't ride home from the hospital, and I mean, a lot, when I first got my car, I started doing it, I felt obligated, but like, it happened a couple of times. At this point, she'd been out of my life for a while. I'm just like, why am I doing this? Bridget's not doing it. I mean, like, and I talk to my siblings, but like, they tell me all the time, there's things that were done that couldn't be forgiven, so there's not even that relationship. So I'm sitting there feeling like, feeling guilt on my part because no one else is doing it. I feel like I gotta do it. She's my mom after all. But then again, I don't even feel like she's my mom.
Right.
It's just like, it's like a whole like, why do I need to feel bad, about making a decision that, I feel more comfortable with? That's not doing it. Like, why shoulder like a burden that, like, like you said, like, when no one else is willing to shoulder. I mean, it was tough. I didn't feel good doing it, so I let myself, give her those rides home when, when I felt like no one else was there, no one else could do it. And I don't know. Yeah. I hated it. I hated every second of it, because I would wake up, it'd be 2 in the morning again, 3 for work the next day for out Franklin Square, go do this, take her home and ride home from there.
And here's my thing, right? Like, I know, to sum it up, all histories, my mother, blah, blah, blah. During that time, right, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like I would imagine your mother was still suffering with some form of addiction, right? Like whatever it may be, was suffering with some form of addiction still. So it's like now you're supposed to like do something for someone that's not even like willing or at the point of getting clean or wants to get clean,
Yeah.
you know? And you're it's like that's what I was trying to say. Like when my situation is like that, you know, it's like, okay, well, you want me to do this, but you're still an addict. Right.
I never experienced anything bad for this woman. I just felt terrible, like, with certain things, or not going to go get her from the hospital. I was like, I'll just leave her here at the hospital. I was like, so I would just go do it,
Like you knew the stories
I knew the
of the bad
stories.
she had done, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So at the end of the day, you didn't believe those were lies,
No.
right? You knew
No.
those were truths, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, that would really hurt me because I know your story. I know the stories you've told me. That would hurt me, bro. You know, being if you were somewhat close to me like that blood, and I see you doing something like that after what you know to be truth, that would hurt, bro. And I felt that. I felt a form of that. Let's say I won't even go into, but I felt a form of that, and it hurts, bro. It really does hurt because it's not like you even believe it to be rumor or it never got settled. You know it to be truth,
Yeah.
and then you still make these conscious decisions to like help someone like that. And that's what tore me and my mother apart. Was that very decision right there of like, okay, well now you're at this point where you can choose basically to accept what's going on, right? And you can come and just accept it as it is, or you can say, well, it never happened to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Never happened to me.
Yeah. It was a lot of things, after she had passed, that like I've kind of thought about and thought back on. I mean, like I said, I hated every second of it.
You ever talk to your family about that? Like your siblings about that? Like what you're saying right now?
No, I don't.
You should, bro. You probably should, bro. Because they might have something on their mind, It'd probably be nice to probably bring that up, bro, and talk about that. Just square that away.
Yeah, definitely, man. But
well, what?
It's
for 10 years.
No, I'm just saying.
When I met you, you weren't good at a lot of things.
I know. I'm just saying. I've never been good at those.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, bro, you think how is that any harder than you learn how to? Bro?
Well,
you see what I mean? Like, you gotta. You see, you gotta.
I know, 100%. I know, 100%.
You're not gonna go to YouTube a video to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, hold up. So one of the things I talked about recently with my grandmother was something like that. I was just hanging out and I just asked her straight up. Like we talked a lot about some of the things, and I was asking her. She was she usually whenever she brings it up, she always cries. She always cries every time, no matter what. No matter what.
You know it.
No matter what. Yeah, I mean, 100%. 100%. It's definitely good to think about. And try and talk to him about it. I've never done it. I've never been in one of those moments, and a lot of times with my sister and with her kids too. But yeah, I've talked to my grandma about a lot of those things. And I know a lot more than what I did, at the time. It was one of those things where like, they always told me. I remember my grandma very adamant, about like, kind of like, like they're teaching me those things about like, improper like touching it where people shouldn't touch you and stuff like that, and who should be doing this and whatnot. I feel like I was always very clear, and I feel like as a kid I was always super alert. Like not because like I've ever had to have it, but like because like of what she ingrained in me. What I'm saying, shit like that.
Good job.
But I mean, like, yeah, talking to her and again, talking about some of those things, and after my mom passed, it was like one of those things of like. I was just super tough to think about because I also found out something about, one of the partners she was with. And I remember at the age I was at 14, I remember we went over to this guy's house with my sister, because my sister tried, patching up things with her dad at one point. And, I found out something about him, and it kind of like reignited, because from what I talked to my grandmother, kind of like reignited like a whole different like like hatred for like this person, that like I've never felt before. Yeah. And I swear to God, if I ever see that man like ever again in my life, like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm like I'll just get his ass, just like I don't know. I just fuck him up. I mean,
you think so?
I mean, this one
Tough,
this
bro.
one was different. I'll talk to you a little bit after after we get off the podcast. But like,
I mean, I can
I'll
tell
talk to
you,
about
bro.
it.
I've been in the situation, bro. I've been in the exact situation you're talking about to the worst degree you can imagine, basically. And it gets to the point where it's like, the truth is, I can attack this man right now, and I can take his life.
Yeah.
I can take his fucking life.
Yeah.
And then what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly, man.
And then what?
Mhm.
Now I'm gone, right, from
Everything
I was trying to fix.
Mhm.
Everything that I tried to fix with doing that,
Mhm.
I'm gone.
Yeah, you put the fucking
you're probably gonna
PP5 plastic barrel, and then you put the fucking acid. It's
I
on
mean,
the
there's
body.
a chance. There's
on
a
the
chance in
body.
Baltimore you could definitely get away with it.
And all
Don't get me wrong. There's a chance you get away with that.
Odds are in my favor. And this bitch.
Odds are in your favor here. Yeah, technically. Yeah, that's the scary part. Yeah, because I seen them, bro. This is what you start getting into some deep shit, brother. You start getting some deep to see and talk to. My own mother. So it gets to this point where it's like, what do I get from it? I don't. There's no healing from it, bro. There's no healing from that childhood trauma, bro. That's the truth, bro. That's the truth that people need to hear. Is there's just no healing from it. You just really learn how to cope with it. Yeah. That's really all it's about. Is you try to figure out a way to deal with it and to move on with your life and understand that no one situation defines you.
No,
and it never can. It never will. And every single day, you're gonna live with that. It's not gonna be a day that you forget about it. There's not gonna be a moment. Everybody that has encountered situations like this, bro, they'll tell you that still to this day, like there's certain things that recounter those same memories, whether it be a smell, a sight, a sound. And they will always be there, bro, to the time you die. Like they're just never gonna go away. So this person inflicts this more of these perpetrators, bro, is by somebody not being afraid, and being willing to say, my brother did this to me. You know what I mean? My father did this to me. The preacher did this to me. We want people to be open so that these people fear this being told. Most of the time, these aren't being told. These stories are going untold. We want people to fear what will happen to them, man. They don't.
No, they don't. They do not at all. They don't,
man. After I listen to that podcast, I want to lift up fucking child molesters in my area, and it's just like, they're around you, bro. They're around you, dude. They don't got to knock on your door. They just got to register.
Yeah.
And
you just got to rely on parents to keep up with who's in your neighborhood.
Even then, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, bro? That's the truth.
You can't move.
These are the scary truths. I got scary truths for people. And the truth is, if somebody wants your kid, they will get them.
They will get them. Yeah.
Scary truth, brother. So what is your job? Your job is to do everything in your power to be prepared and knowledgeable towards all situations that it could occur, right? Because when you're saying that it can happen to your child, it means it's a high probability. But there's kids that don't get taken. And there's people that do escape. And that's what you're trying to build. You're trying to build a person that can do that. That is aware of these threats that come. That's what people say, we've been through it before. People tell me all the time, you always watch true crime. True crime is for women. People say, I don't know where that came from. It's for women. I'm just like, you guys are crazy, bro. I listen to 2-hour interrogation videos. If I ever get you guys in a white fucking walled room, I think I'm going to tear your ass apart, bro. You know what I mean? It's all knowledgeable. It's all knowledge to know what these people are thinking, how their minds are working. What are my statistics? What are my times? The crazy thing is to me is I know more of these statistics than I have a child. People that have children don't know these statistics, bro. You know what I mean? Like, bro, stay tight to your kids, dude. That's all I can say, bro. Because it
could literally happen to any child.
It is crazy, bro. I mean, I've heard stories, people comment. Like, I listened to a story today, bro. This guy breaks in middle of the night, rapes and kills this 12-year-old, bro. Nobody in the family hears it. There's 2 other kids and a dad. The dad's got, they all got fans. Dad's got the sleeping device, so it's loud and shit. But this little 12-year-old was fucking mutilated, bro. And this guy escaped, dude. Straight up escaped, left out of there. Left his DNA, thankfully. They ended up booking the guy with the DNA, right? They're like, we know you did it. He's like, here's what it is. Prepare for the situations, And I'm speaking to myself here too, people. Speaking to myself. I'm not saying I'm prepared. I'm trying to be. I understand the threat. These people that go, I'm not going to watch that because, I don't want to see stuff like that.
I don't want to talk about it.
It's not going to work, bro. It makes me feel like how you said, like, I'm not good at that situation. I don't like hearing that type of stuff, right? Because these are truths. You see, whenever we have a truth, it's like we have to figure it out, bro. We have, even if we're good at it or not good at it, we have to be able to figure out how to. And the truth is that you're going to go through that situation and it might not go as you expect it. It might not go well, but you have to go through it, right? Like, they say, like, when you have to give yourself a chance to grieve, right?
Yeah.
Like, what do they really mean there? It's like literally give yourself a chance to process what happened there. Because a lot of times it doesn't get processed properly. And when you do process it, it's from a biased standpoint of only your own viewpoint. You don't think about the other people. And like you all of a sudden you're not friends no more and you wonder why. And there was this little thing, bro, that put that peg in there that like you knew was a truth and just never had that talk, whether it be uncomfortable or you're not good at it, whatever it is. Like we gotta figure out a way, because I feel the same way. I'm not perfect, bro. I feel same way. I still have conversations I feel uncomfortable about and shit like that. But it's like we do have to figure out a way, right, to get through that. To be able to say, I can tell you this, because there's people that got molested by their fathers and they're scared to tell their mom. You see what I mean?
No one knows. No one ever knows.
No one never knows, bro. I told you before, I know a story, bro, where 3 different siblings got molested. Did not know they were all getting molested by the same man until they were adults and all told each other that they got molested. And it was the same person at the same time in the house, molesting them all. Never told no one, bro, over 17 years. Crazy, ain't it?
Yeah.
Brother, same house, same spot, 3 people, 1 person. Insane to me, bro.
Yeah, I wonder how many people actually have conversations, about that type of thing. Like I said, like I vividly remember every time my grandmother, like, just like had that conversation with me. You know what I'm saying? It's
good, man.
Very vividly.
But on the contrary, people will say, don't put that in your kid's head. See, but I don't work like that.
But I was never. Yeah, but that's the thing. I was never scared of the world.
You were born gay.
What would you define that as? Like you cross something and like you're just like
make no sense.
And you're just like.
I'm just saying, do you feel like you have a spider sense?
I think so.
As in, like, good instincts for you?
Good instincts, like, you mean like...
How would you define good spider sense to you?
I'm
going to go off on a tangent.
Yeah, I would think for me personally, it's like, I think it's, like kind of like self-awareness and like really thinking about like, the situations that could be at hand, and, kind of like analyzing and looking for those kind of like signs, like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of like that, you see someone who's kind of up, raises the hairs on your neck type of deal. You're just like, that's off, and now you're extra keen. It's almost like how you use like you're kind of like, it's like a strike method. It's like, okay, it's 1, 2.
Right.
I don't think I'm gonna stick around to see 3. Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah. So what's your spidey sense?
Okay, well, let's see. Well, we might as well put the rest of this in there because we're one guys though. But
sure.
You're one guy. Oh my god. Bro, I hate talking about myself. I really do, dude. I don't like.
Well, I asked you.
I know. But I really.
Answer a question.
I really don't enjoy it. I always feel self-conscious. I always feel like a dork. I
feel the same way.
I don't want to be like. I don't want anybody to ever feel. This is working good.
I feel weird when people like overly praise me. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that.
I don't want anybody to ever think that I'm asking for one bit of praise from
exactly,
anybody.
exactly, man. I hate it.
I don't. But like if I had any special ability in life, it would be this spider sense, bro. And I've tried to explain it to you before, and it's kind of just impossible to explain, bro. It's if I, like I said, it will just sound crazy, But basically, bro, I feel like I can feel mass. I have an understanding for mass in space.
Okay.
And I know it doesn't make sense, but like how like You know how you see a running back just make a step, right? That nine running backs won't make,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
There's a guy coming from over here, and they can step back, right?
Yeah.
You've been in a situation, right, where like you're about to get over through a car, there's another car coming over, you got a little tiny spot, you're trying to fit through it, right? Right. So when all my life, whenever I'm in a situation like that of like where time and space and matter matters, bro, I'm kind of able to see it from different viewpoints. And like, so like if I like say like we're going through a really tight spot, it doesn't matter if I'm even driving, bro. It's almost like you could just feel, right,
Your
that's
car.
happened. I can almost whatever I'm in,
Yeah,
bro. A
whatever you're in.
4-wheeler, running, whatever it is. I've always been able to kind of feel how much mass I'm taking up in this space, if that
Okay.
makes sense, right?
Okay.
And it's not that I have some special ability or some special eyes, but with like those mathematical calculations that I'm able to do quick, I'm kind of able to like put eyes on the side of the vehicle, if that makes sense. So I kind of can see the exact space that's between that vehicle and the other vehicles. You see what I mean?
Okay.
And I'm not saying like visually, right? I can't like, I
You
don't
just
have
feel
another
it.
eye.
You feel it. That's your spidey
I
sense.
literally,
That's your spidey sense.
I have a spider sense that's like 3 feet, 2 feet. That was, you see what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, and it will literally tingle through my body, bro, up my spine where I have to go like that. It's weird, bro. Don't
Oh,
like
the car got close.
literally, bro. I swear to God, dude, it's so weird, bro.
There's somebody. Yeah, joke, but yeah, I
Dude.
mean, it's. I mean,
Listen, it can be anything from minuscule to maximum. Minuscule being I'm clipping my fingernail, I go to take that, and I can feel it. I can feel in my body that I went too deep with that fingernail clip. I have to pull up. It's these little tiny things. Then I can go big of crucial situations I've been in, bro. Literally life or death situations, bleeding out situations. And I've been able to make just very quick mathematical equations of percentages of chances, right? And it's always been a special ability, bro. So I feel like I've been able to avoid a lot of damage. I got into a lot of shit and I fucked myself up a lot, but I was always able to avoid damage by doing quick mathematical calculations that gave me eyes. That's the best way to say it.
the mathematical equations they give you. I mean,
So
like you,
like
yeah,
my
you have
be-
a good
like one of my
feeling
best
of like
examples,
your
right?
the person in space, you know,
So I'm doing a wheelie.
and further extensions of your
I'm doing a
bodies.
wheelie 50 miles an hour in the back of this parking lot
Are you now?
on a CR 250, and I can't wheelie, and I never rode a CR 250, right? And I got nothing on but shorts and my shoes. And I fucking speed wobbled coming down off the wheelie, bro, and hit shit on asphalt with nothing on my body, bro. And I'll never forget, bro. Quick mathematical calculations, dude. It's crazy, Steve. Like,
I remember you telling me this.
yeah, like I know mines go slow, but I remember right away, bro, I hit my head. And that's how I got that scar right there. I hit my
Yeah.
head right off the ground like that. Bow. I came up like that. And before my head hit the ground, bro, I was processing mathematical equations of like, can we take another head hit? Should we try to roll? Should we double arm it? And like in that split second was able to come to the conclusion of like just roll and let the elbow take it, let the arm take it per se, not the head,
Yeah.
just quick bam. Okay, now we're on the next thing. Okay, now pop up. We gotta slow it down. Now I'm trying to go like jellyfish style, star style, basically, because I'm trying to slow my drag, bro. I mean, I'm talking like 30 yards of rolling, bro, like crazy. So I'm trying to like literally stop on this like this, as I'm sliding, dude. Just quick. Mathematical calculations, dude. When I crushed my leg open, bro, split my leg open with a piece of glass, man. When I told you about that, when I was breaking into Patterson, I'm on top of that roof.
Allegedly.
I'm on top of that roof, and I realized, holy shit, bro! Like, okay, this is going on, right? And the crazy thing is, this is what I'm saying. Where I've seen, I guess this is when I started checking check boxes, Steve. This might be when I started checking check boxes, bro.
Fight or flight moments.
I'll never forget, bro. I pulled my leg out of there, out of this window, and Justin sees it, and like he's like, red in the face, basically, no reaction. And I remember my boy Rick sees it, dude. And it's Shout out Rick, bro. Seen him the other day, dude, and just like, oh my god, just like what a wave of just like emotion and thought, man, and just like seeing
That's crazy.
the way that life goes, dude. Just wild, bro. Started thinking about so many things, but shout out to Rick, bro. That motherfucker came right up to me, dude. I'm talking, bam. As soon as I pulled that motherfucker out, he spotted it, came right up to me, pulled this piece of paper out of my fucking leg, bro, and fucking took off his shirt, dude, and straight up ripped me up a tight ass tourniquet, dude. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I didn't even think about these calculations. I didn't even process. I'm stuck. I go to the edge of this roof, dude, and I'm like, you know, trying to think, like, get to my house. I'm like, block 2 from my house. I'm like, if I get to my house, get my mom, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm at the edge of this roof. I'm like, bro, just like literally in 1 second did 10 million jump from this roof. What's the calculation of me getting dying, right? Or hurting myself extra. Okay, I go and look for a ladder. What if I don't find a ladder? Right? If I jump right now, can I make it happen? I'm doing all these calculations and I'm thinking like how to reduce 100% impact. So then I hop down to a second roof. So I'm like, okay, I did 75% impact and then a hang drop. So now I'm like, okay, it's a 40% impact. You said like, it's crazy, bro.
You got 20% health left.
You literally, dude, bro, that is, I told you about this situation, bro. Literally, that's how it was, dude. I landed and my body was like, bro, we are gone. Like, it's crazy when that happens, dude. It's a surreal moment. Your body is like, brother, I don't even know how we got. Like, I think your body doesn't know what your mind does. You know, that's what it felt like. And it was like, I don't know how we got in this situation, bro, but like we are damaged. And I'm just like in my mind trying to get my adrenaline to be like, if we get home, we live. If we get home, we live. That's how I kept thinking. You know what I mean? To the point that I passed out. To the point that I literally fainted.
You never made home?
I was running. I thought I told you a story.
I don't remember. Yeah, did you ever? You made it home, right?
It's a pretty intricate story, bro. My life changed this day, bro. This is when my entire life changed, bro. When I went from being
boy,
let's say my first, not even, no, just a bad person, bro, to a good person. This is when it happened, Steve. Like, it was this day, bro. It's like when I realized that, like, the way that I was living did not have to be the way I'm living. Like, I was making dumb decisions. I had almost paid the ultimate price for it. You know what I mean? Like, my entire output changed. I stopped hanging out with Rick. I stopped hanging out with Justin. I started coming around you guys more. You know what I mean? Like, changing the entire way because I realized, like, bro, I was the one that got this fucking pus bubble in his leg and 17 stitches, you know, doing some dumbass shit that I let somebody else take me into, bro. You know, my entire life changed this day, bro. But I calculate that. I jump down off this motherfucker. And as soon as I land, bro, dude, like my leg just squirted out blood. Like I chipped an artery, dude. So this shit's squirting out like, it's the sickest shit I ever seen in my life, bro. When that glass was in me, the blood was shooting out like a V because the glass was in it, but the artery was still pumping, right? Yeah. So glass coming out underneath, blood underneath, yeah, like this, right? So he comes up and get my jump that he pulls that out my leg, ties that tourniquet on me, you know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, I'll jump this motherfucker, bro. So I start processing these things. I get down a little bit. I jump down. When I landed, dude, like weird, bro. Like, if there's a God, whoever it is, you're self-conscious, whatever it is, bro. Somebody talked to me that day that never talked to me again, bro. You know what I mean? And that day, like it was, but that's how I try to explain in my story. It was me saying it all. That's why, like that day, like that's why I always say I believe I'm God because of this day, bro. Right? So when I landed, it was like it wasn't even my subconscious that said it, bro. It was literally like. Now, knowing what I know, I feel like it was like a DNA message, you know, of like, bro, you're critically fucking injured. And I look over at Justin, and at this point, the tourniquet's soaked. Like, I done jumped down. Look over at Justin, bro, and like, he can't do nothing. He's way too little to like carry me or anything. You know what I mean? So he's just running next to me, and he's crying. And I remember, bro, I just fucking blacked out, bro. I blacked out, and I hit the fucking ground. I'm guessing I hit the ground. I don't even fucking know. But I woke up, like, right away, like hit the ground, woke up, and Justin's over top of me as I'm laying on the ground. He's crying so bad, and I'm trying to process everything that's going on, bro. Makes me sad to this moment, bro. This was right after Lou was born. Shout out to Lou, man. I'm about to go celebrate his 17th birthday. This was right after Lou was born. You know what I mean? And Justin's crying over top of me, bro, and I'm like, Tell my nephew I love him. That was literally bro. I didn't even think about my mom, my dad, nothing. Bro. I thought about Lou. I was like, tell my nephew I love him, man. And I blacked out again, bro. And I went into like this, like it's not even a room, bro. Just all black area. You know, it's just straight up black openness. And like 20 to 25 yards away from me is myself standing there, and we're just looking at each other, bro. And it felt like maybe like 20 minutes went by. I don't know. I never talked to Justin about how long it was, but like felt like 20 minutes went by. And I was staring at myself 25 yards away, and we never said nothing the whole time. Not one word. We just stared at each other, not no emotion, never changed our face, nothing, bro. I didn't think about nothing. I didn't have nobody say nothing. Nothing like that, bro. No, he didn't say come back or no shit like you hear on them TV shows or nothing. We just stared at each other, bro. And it was just like, honestly, a moment of pure bliss, bro. Where like, you know, no emotion controls you. You're just at the ultimate point of like, I don't know, bro. I don't know what that is. Is that purgatory? Is that God
Because you don't
deciding?
know where you were
I
at.
have no idea, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I seen something or
Mhm.
nothing like that, bro. It was all black, like this, black right here, black area. Couldn't even tell what I was standing on, like when they're in that Matrix scene.
Yeah.
And it was just myself, 25 yards away. We're just staring at each other. Never said nothing. Never had the intention to think of nothing to say. Never processed what was going on. Just straight up, just staring at each other, bro. And next thing I know, bro, I come back to, and Justin's still crying over top of me, bro. And I just bounce up, dude. Like, I think it was like that last bit. You know what I mean? How they say, like, you did that last bit. I fucking bounced up, bro, and I literally started running full fucking speed. I came out of Patterson over there where the dog tracks, the baseballs are at and shit. And as soon as I banged that left, that's what's so crazy about life, Steven, is, you know, all these stories that we had just previously talked about. You know, a lot of them involved my mom's boyfriend. This is the same guy who was running down this fucking hill to come get me while I was bleeding out, about to die, bro. He was the person that was there, dude. Threw me up on his shoulders. I blacked out again. Next thing I know, I'm coming to. I'm up at the top. There's an ambulance at the top right there, that hill, and I'm getting wrapped up and shit. And you know what's so crazy? I'll never forget. Pete from Greektown was there, and he was in that like this circle of people that were surrounding me. Like, what happened? And I'm just like so worried about getting in trouble, bro. Like that's the only thing I can think about.
Especially as a kid.
Just worried about getting in trouble. I lied. I said I slipped, and we were playing tag. I slipped and fell into a broken 40 bottle. Like, you know what I mean? But apparently, I don't know. Justin ratted on me. Blah blah blah. I'm not.
Everything's fine.
Everything was fine. You know, but I ended up lying about it. I was just so afraid. That's why I jumped off of there. Like, I feel like a lot of people would have been like, call the cops. You know, go call the cops. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, well, if I get down from here, they can't prove I was up here. You know, like, at this point, I was in Patterson. You know, and bro, I bled all over Patterson's roof, all over the second roof I jumped all on the fucking shit I ran across that yard, bro, and never heard a single thing, dude.
Well, no much in the nets, like it's like they probably looked at it and were just like, well, he learned his lesson, you know. He probably won't be back to pre kid anymore.
Crazy,
you know, the
bro.
amount of blood that was there, you know.
Crazy, man. Yeah, they wrapped me up, got stitched up, dude. Like, it's, you know what's so wild, bro, is the body trying to recover from that too, dog. Like, man, dude, chills, bro. Talking about chills, like that's the type of shit. Like, dude, never felt it before, probably never feel it again. Like, it is weird when you lose. I didn't get a blood transfusion. You know what I mean? I lost all that blood. My body recouped it naturally. You know, so, bro, those next couple of days, dude, like, my body was just like uncontrollable, bro. Like, projectile vomiting at random times, shitting myself, headaches, muscle pains, couldn't sleep, slept too much, bro. I wasn't sick or nothing. You see what I mean, bro? Just straight up, bro.
Recovering.
Like, I lost so much blood, dude. Like, I think they said it was like a pint and 3/4 is what I ended up losing. Which is like, I don't even know how much you can lose.
I'm sitting there, I'm just like, is that a lot? Is that a lot of blood?
Well, I think you have 4 pints in your body, 4 or 5 pints.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so I lost like a pint and 3/4 in that time. You know, and most of it was from me trying to get up to that fucking house. You know what I mean? If I just sat there, wrapped myself up, I don't even know if I black out. You know, it was like trying to keep going, bro. It's just weird. It's a weird time, man. After that, it's funny because I didn't have nobody that came and talked to me after that happened. Like nobody even asked me about that story. Only people I knew was Rick, and Rick ran to get my mom like right away. So it was really only me and Justin there. Nobody never asked me, bro. My mom never asked me, like, what exactly
thing just kind of happened.
I just was like, we was playing tag. I slipped on this 40
You were
bottle.
covered.
I cut myself, and nobody. My sister didn't ask me. Nobody never asked me about the
Just moved
situation,
on.
bro. But to myself,
You're going through some shit.
it's weird, bro. I can remember all of this like it was yesterday, dude. We were playing tag. And it's weird how the mind and the body works, bro. I had crutches, bro. This is the 2 days after this happened. I'm wrapped up with a band-aid stitched up. I got crutches, bro. And they come to my house and I want to play tag. Because I'm about to play tag. I'm like, I'll still fucking play. And I remember I went in this like one fucking back of this house. I hid in this cellar and I got all the way in the bottom and I was hiding and I got found first, and I couldn't even break away. I was trying to go see tag, and I couldn't
do
run.
anything.
I just was like, I'm stuck. And then next time we found everybody, next time I was it. And it's hide and go see tag, bro. You know what I mean? And I can't get anybody, bro. And I can't tell you how this made me feel, dude. It was like a bully. That's what it felt like, bro. Like, so I remember going home and like processing it myself, Like I was like, bro, why did we go to Patterson? Like, I never even wanted to break in there. I was like, oh, yeah. I remember Quantez, Rick, Justin, Matthew. They was all breaking in there for a long time. And they kept saying they was, like, riding. They went to the pool. I didn't even know there was a pool. You know what I mean? Like, They was riding these tricycles in the gym and shit. And they made it sound so fun. They were like, it's so easy to get in. And I'm like, I just ended up going there. And then we try to push it farther, going to this other spot and shit. And just, like, I'm just like, oh, I went there because of this. You know what I mean?
I remember like the same thing. It's like I remember I was hanging out with Brian and them. Brian Shrewsbury, and the crowd that he ran with. And I remember I was just like, well, I don't like hanging out with this crowd. Who else was there at the moment? Well, then at one point I remember Nebby had a house 1 block up for me for like the first time ever. So I was pretty much always with Nebby. I was always hanging out with Nebby when he was there. And like. At this time, I wasn't allowed to leave the neighborhood. Probably talking like 12, maybe 13. I wasn't allowed to go to like Joseph Lee or anything like that. Nothing crazy. So when he moved there, I was just like, fuck yeah. I got my best friend from school. He's right here. We were playing each other's games. We played, I'm just like, fuck yeah.
When Nebby moved to Greektown?
He lived in Greektown for a brief point.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he lived right there on Quail.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
And I was just, he lived, and it was literally for like the littlest amount of time. It was probably like 6 months tops to a year.
Yeah.
Exactly, I remember I was just like, I remember because I was like hanging out with Brian and there was Tyler still there. I'm just like, oh, I'm bringing this guy Nevy around. Like, it's gonna be cool, man. That's Nevy's cool. I'm showing my friend. This is one of my best friends. And then, eventually Nebby moved away, so it was just like Tucker. It was just me and Tucker hanging out. We're the closest ones in the neighborhood. Yeah, you guys are so far, and like for the most part until I was like 15, 16, that's when or I think probably like 14, 15, 16 is when I could really start venturing out, going to Eastwood, going to Joseph Lee.
Just looking back on that though, we weren't far.
No, not at all.
Like we're in Eastwood. It's like you're in Greektown.
Yeah,
we're literally like 15, 20-minute bop, but 5-minute car ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But to a youngin, had to make that bop. It was really about the bop home. That would make people be like, like I could get to you, but like I had to walk home by myself.
That was also the biggest thing, like especially with my grandmother at the time. Up until like I got older, it was like, nah, I have to meet the parents. I have to meet whoever's house you're going to. I had to meet their parents. At this point, she knew Nevy's parents, she knew Tucker's, she knew Brian's, so it was cool. I could go anywhere in that neighborhood. But I never met their parents, so you can't go up there. I remember going to Mike T's once, and like in 8th grade. That's still like, I remember I got in trouble for stopping going to Mike G's house in Eastwood from Southeast. And I'm walking home from there. I was home like 30 minutes late, and there was just like getting torn up for that. Exactly, I'm just like, I'm glad to have that type of thing. But
if you didn't show up, they were going to know.
But I remember being a kid, you're just like, why? Why can't I just go to my friend's house? I can't go to my friend's house.
I'm old enough.
Exactly, And in hindsight, it's like, well, thank you. Like, thank you very much. That's
sure,
smart. It's very fucking smart. But again, it's like same thing. Had Brian, I didn't want to hang out with Brian anymore. He started, I was weed and stuff. It was just like, all right, now I got Tucker. And, You know, every once in a while, I'd walk up there, you know, to meet you guys, or you guys would link. I remember for a brief period of time, we were linking in Greektown. You know, we were linking in Greektown. It was just like, fuck yeah, this is like prime. Like, yes, everyone's coming here.
Yeah,
you know, because
it was always a good time.
Because the worst thing was always like you not to walk there. It was when you were walking home 2 a.m, shit face.
That's what I'm saying. And you had to go by yourself. Like,
and it was sketch.
Even if you did walk home with someone, eventually you broke off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, I remember we'd walk home from your house, bro. I'd go, even though I could go back the back street Royal Farms way and get to my house, I'd walk with everybody on Eastern Avenue.
Yep.
We get to right there to that Dundalk Avenue break off. Everybody goes, literally, Jeff goes straight, Nebby goes left, I go right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
The same spot.
Yeah, same spot. Literally the same spot. Everybody walks home alone.
I remember, like, that was the beautiful thing with, like, Kieran. It was like he would walk you home, you know, for the most part, you know, whatever. He'd just be like, I remember, like, there was a lot of times where, like, he was just like in a good mood or a little drunk. I'm just like, all right, dude, you know. He's like, you know, houses right there. He's like, I'm gonna walk with you, dog. You know, just like, all right, cool, let's walk. You know, and he was just like feeling good, you know, just walk with you. Talk shit. Huh?
You might want to invite invitation in at the end, bro.
Yeah.
At least a little smoke up or something.
Yeah, I feel like we always did, but like I don't fucking know, man. We're always fucking fucked up at that point. You know, I have no idea.
I don't know, man. It's wild. It's wild how it all just plays out one step at a time. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like all of a sudden we're all hanging out. Like that's when we were all coming out. We used to just hang out, play the video games and shit.
And then,
you know, we had a Madden phase. You know, we had a phase where all of us. Remember we had a phase where all of us would load up on Call of Duty and play bots and shit. Search and destroy 2v2 and shit. Like we did that all the time, bro.
I remember for years. Bro. I remember like there was a brief period of time where I remember like it would be like me, Tucker, Nebby, and Jeff. I'm not sure what happened to you in this period of time, but like I remember like we would play like Black Ops and like it'd be like we played all day. It'd be like 7, 8 o'clock. It'd be like y'all want to smoke, and then Nebby and Jeff would walk down to me and Tyler. And me and Tyler would just smoke us all up.
That's what I'm about to say. And all of a sudden we're doing all these things. Then we're just like we're smoking weed.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah, exactly. I mean? Yeah.
Doing all these things, they smoke weed.
Bro, it's funny as shit because I always look back to it. I think about it. I remember just like, because I mean, like, I was still not coming up Eastwood, and like a lot of times, like the farthest I would probably go is like Joseph Lee. And I remember like it's like I hear you guys talking about it. I remember Nebby told me, you know, like we're gonna party. I'm like, we're gonna have a party. They're gonna party. They're like, yeah, you guys want to come party? It's like, all right, let's guys ever have a party. You know, okay, what's the party? So I don't even know how I ended up at Tucker's house, you know, for that first time. But I mean, like, yeah, and that kind of just set off the whole other. Because at that point, I remember like we weren't even like all like really hanging out like that. I just remember it's like, you guys want to party? We're all gonna party.
So let me pause you right there, right? So when Nebby told you that. I'm going to go for you right now. This is literally the exact time. The day before Nebby told you that. Right?
Yeah.
Me and Nebby are cool at this time. So I move all the way down to St. Helena. That's where I was at that time. Okay. Right? So Nebby comes down to stay the night at my crib for a couple of days. And me and him, we're like, let's go out. Right? We're like, at this point, we're like about to be in 9th grade. You know? So we're like, this is like, we're supposed to be going out and doing shit. We know that.
High schoolers.
We're not supposed to be playing Call of Duty all day long.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're like, okay, we're supposed to go out. So I remember we go over to Big Boy's Pizza down on off Dundalk Ave, and we get a pizza. And as we're walking out, bro, never forget. There's these two. I'm never here for these stories, but there's these two women, right? There's 2 women out there, and they look good, bro. I'll be honest with you, they look good, like straight up, and like you were talking about earlier with the eye contact, we're walking by them. They both just look at us and they're just like, damn, they said damn. And me and Nev are virgin whores that don't even know how to process anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we keep walking. And then like we're looking back at them, they're looking back at us. I got a house all alone. It's just me and Nebby. My mom's going to be all gone all night. We could bring these bitches back. We could try to talk to them, whatever it is, you know? We just keep walking. We're geeking. We're like, oh, yeah, they wanted us. They want us, right? Start self-critiquing, Steve. So we're walking back, and I remember, like, we're just talking about random shit. And in my head, I'm just like, you're about to be a 9th grader. Like, everybody you know's fucking Pete. You know what I mean? Like, they're all doing shit. Like, shit that you're not doing, right? So I start processing shit. We go back. We got this pizza, these snacks. And we sit on the couch, and I'm like, Neb, like, why didn't we do nothing with them girls back there? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, I know we could do. He's gonna be like, oh, come with us. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I think that's what they do. Nev. I'm like, I be knowing, like, at
Yeah,
this
talking
time,
about
like,
openly.
I'm watching like Rodney fuck multiple bitches and shit. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, Nev. I'm like, I think they just be like, what's up? Yeah, I mean, basically, that's what I'm saying. You know, and he's like, they just be like, what's up? Yeah, yeah,
I think so.
yeah, what's up? So I remember first we got back up, left the pizza, went back over there to see if these bitches were still there. They're gone. So we go back home. And I'm like, bro, like, man, that was our chance. Like, we could have been in here with 2 bitches. You know what I mean? And then I remember Nevy's like, well, what would we have did if we got him here? Right? And I was like, you know, I had nothing. I'm like, what do you mean? We fuck him.
We have that.
You know what I mean?
We
But
do it.
So Nevy's like, nah, he's like, bro, like that's not going, you know, you gotta have a reason like to bring him back and shit. And I was like, you know, we should get like some drink or some weed or something. Like, I knew people that smoked weed. My sister, everybody like smoked weed. I've been around weed all my life. So I was like, you know, you get some weed or something, like some drink, and you just bring it back here. And this is literally how the gears are turning, bro. Right? So then I'm like, well, my mom's not gonna be gone all night. You know, eventually. We would have had to tell them to leave too. Like, what do you do when they gotta leave? Something different process.
Yeah, thinking you're talking about,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So we're like, okay. So we start talking, and I remember the first thing that happened was I was like, we gotta find somewhere where no parents are gonna get involved. So he said Mike G. He was like, Mike G's dad leaves for mad long. He'd be gone for days. We can go over there, throw a party. You know, we're having a good ass time. We call Mike G up, bro. On fucking on his phone. I got
Yeah.
and call the phone.
Calls house phone.
Calls right, house phone. Yeah, exactly. And we're like, yeah, like, what's the party? And I remember he's like, I'm down. He's like, I'm down. Like, he's like, bro, that sounds fun as shit. He's like, you're right. We're supposed to start partying. I remember Mike G's all with it, bro. Comes the day of, right? I don't know how it ended up. I guess the next day he ended up saying that shit to you because we're like, spread the word or whatever. But I remember the day of, literally that Saturday, we call Mike G. We're like, bro, we got like 10 people. Right? It's supposed to be like all of us.
Yeah.
Like, we got like 10 people. He's like, bro, I can't have a party at my house. Like, basically he's bluffing. He's like, I can't have a party at my house. So we're like, fuck. We're like, what do you mean, man? You have this party. Like, it's good. We planned this party, you know? So he's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. We're like, all right, fuck it. We're figure out something. So I remember the first thing we thought of, we're like, well, where would nobody be? It was nice out. We're like, we'll go to Patterson Park's bleachers. We're just telling everybody meet up on Patterson Park's bleachers. We're gonna get some drink. At this time we done talk to Karen about getting the drink through his dad.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
So we done settled that out, and we know where to get the grass at from Shrews and them.
Yeah.
So we know where to get the shit. So we're like, all right, we get the grass, get the drink. We're gonna go over to fucking Patterson Park bleachers, and we're just get everybody go there, get fucked up, and get some bitches there, bring some bitches back. We're gonna do it. And then I remember like we link up and we start thinking about it. We're like, we start thinking about all the kid things, right? Of like, what if police come? We don't know what to do. Or dad or mom, you know, whatever it is, you know, we're just like, fuck. So then I remember I'm like, Neb, you got to think about somebody else whose parents will let us do this. And then, bam. Tyler, he's like, we could go to Tucker's house. His dad be doing gigs and shit
like 2,
on the
3 in the
weekends.
morning,
2, 3 in the morning. And we're like, what? Hit Tucker up. Seeing Tucker up do it. And Tucker's like, I'm with it. So that was literally that day, bro.
Oh, shit,
we fucking go. Yeah, you know what I mean? We go over to fucking Karen. We link up with Karen. We're like, your dad's gonna do this shit, right? He's like, yeah, just gotta buy him a bottle. I'm like, okay, whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly, whatever.
So I remember,
everybody throw up on it.
It's so funny talking about this shit. I just enjoy it.
Everybody
You don't talk about it a lot, you know? So I remember we go to the liquor store. His dad comes. His dad's so weird. We're just walking with all these kids to the liquor store. And his dad's like, what do you want? It's like fucking super bad moment. What the fuck you want? Yeah. I don't know the fuck there is. All I ever see was hypnotic bottles in my sister's fucking bedroom. You know what I mean? That's all I got is hypnotic. So I'm like, what the fuck did we do? You know, and so we give him like $60, bro. You know, in the beginning, you're getting fucked left and right by everyone.
Yeah, anyone can get a chance.
Yeah, so we give him $60, and we're like, just get us what you think we should drink, basically. And I'll never forget, bro, that's when that motherfucker bought that 5th of Absolute Vodka and that 5th of that Jack Daniels. That was the first party. That was the 2 we were drinking, bro.
Yeah.
We got orange juice. We were drinking orange juice and fucking Jack Daniels and
Jack and Coke. Yeah, Jack
mixing
and
it all.
Coke, OJ vodka.
So we go down there. We're on the way down to Tyler Tucker's. We're hitting everybody up. Everybody's coming through.
I remember we linked with you guys and Joseph Lee.
We get the grass from Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
We get the grass.
We all
Next thing you
get
know,
back.
we got a quarter of weed. We got
That
2
girl Autumn
bottles.
comes by. She comes with
Autumn comes by,
go
bro.
by Tyler's.
We only
We're all
got
having, we're Wayne Wolfster. We have him doing the tea bowls and shit. And just like drinking.
And that's gonna be an album cover one day, Steve.
I still have all those photos.
I got that picture, see?
Yeah, I got all those photos.
That
bro.
picture is gonna be an
I
album
remember
cover.
I had got a digital camera for Christmas. And I was just like, this is perfect. I'm going to document this. It sucks I never got one of myself. I was just thinking about that.
I got it.
Yeah, but I was taking pictures of everybody else.
I appreciate it.
And I got the video.
We know
And I got the video.
I love you got one of me or Jeff's right to me with like all
you guys
this
did the guitar.
and I got the headphones plugged into nothing, bro. Jeff, we're gonna do a feature. That'll be it. That'll be the front end line. Music video ideas now, bro. Everything. I want to know how to clip shit. I was like, how do you clip shit? How do you put shit in a video file? How do you clip something from a video file, put it in another video file? You know what I mean? That's like a video file. So you got a lot to learn. Got a lot to learn there.
I remember I put all those photos on Facebook, on like Facebook
Yeah,
or MySpace
bro.
or something. Or
You
like
know?
Facebook or
That's
something.
just crazy how we're just like how you just explained it from like your side of it. You know what I mean? And then like I'm explaining to you like my
your
side,
side,
how it just,
exactly,
like,
yeah.
meets up.
And I was like, you guys are because I remember going through it all. And it was like, they're like, yeah, they got a party. I'm like, y'all probably drink. I don't know if I'm going to smoke. Oh, I get addicted. You know, it's like,
I remember.
And I remember I was there. And everyone
I
was
remember
like,
the first time you smoked,
I
bro.
was just like,
'Cause
all right,
Tyler
I'll do
did
it.
too.
I was
The
like,
first time
how to do it. Because I remember me and him were talking about it. We weren't sure if we were going to smoke.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then I remember once we did it, you know, we were there, we did it. We were all high up. We're drinking. We're all drinking.
All
Everyone's a little, exactly. Everyone's a little
titties.
fucked up. I remember I was like, oh, man, all those photos show. I mean, how fucked up everybody was, you know what I'm saying? How fucking, that video, you know, was just like hilarious, man. That's like, I have a video of you with you guys singing. Yeah, I have a video, bro.
I faintly remember.
Yeah, I have a video, bro.
but
That picture
you
you're talking
should
about?
send that
That
to
picture
me.
you're talking about, bro?
Yeah.
Well, I have a video of
I
that very
kinda remember there's a
moment you guys
video.
are singing Journey. You
We're
know?
singing Journey.
Remember
Right,
singing Journey? I
yeah.
remember Jeff's right next to you. I remember like I zoom in on him because he's all fucked up, bro. He's trash. You know, he's all. I mean,
throw up all over.
bro, he was all red and flushed in the face. Yeah, exactly. I remember I'm looking. Tyler's upside down still, like on the couch. It's like I don't even know what he's doing. Oh
I
man,
just never forget, bro. Like everybody did
Great
some
video.
shit. Jeff had those steps. Wayne ate some raw chicken, bro. I'll never forget till this day what I did. And I just feel so dumb, bro. I remember I went up in Tyler's house, bro. I grabbed some scissors. I cut pubic hair and put it in his sink.
yeah, I remember that.
And I remember I thought that was so funny.
We all thought it was
bro.
hilarious, man.
I just thought that was, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just the dumbest shit of all time, bro. I'm like, I got some pubic hair, put it in your sink.
And you did I think you did the Star of David, or you did a swastika. And
it was
like,
a Jewish star.
yeah,
Okay,
it's
no,
Star
it's not
David.
swastika.
Yeah,
Okay, it was a
pentagram.
Jewish
It's a
star.
pentagram.
Okay.
pentagram or some shit on this
Okay.
fucking shaving cream.
And I
on the
doubt
mirror.
I
remember
doubt it was,
I remember Nevi came down. He probably was the Star of David.
I was gonna say, I doubt it was in a proper star. Of David.
No, and I remember Nevi came. I was just like, oh no, just confused. I'm just like, I'm just geeking. You know?
Everybody was geeking. I'm
Yeah,
just
it's
like,
geek.
it's like looking back. I was like, ah, shit. I feel so sorry. Sorry, Tyler Tucker, for that one.
Yeah.
Legend.
Yeah, I remember afterwards. I remember talking to Tyler. He was like, "Yeah, I was pretty fucked up," and I was just like, "Yeah, I was pretty fucked up." I was like, "That was pretty fucked up, bro." I think about it. It was funny at the time. It's pretty fucked up. I remember he was just like, "No, I don't know to come back again. I don't know to come back again."
Oh man.
And bro, I'm
not proud of that one, bro. I'm not first time drunk. You know what I mean? We're mixing liquors. Like Wayne rolled up a blunt and raw chicken. Like I mean, we all were Wayne. Jeff fell down 20 plus steps.
I almost got hit by a car.
I mean, before any of that, though, fell down 20 plus steps and got up.
The field.
No, before any of that.
I know. But
Oh, he fell down those 20 steps. He got up and started singing Journey.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. He was good. He was good.
Yeah, I'm just saying we all were pretty fucked up.
Oh yeah,
Oh, we
bro.
had a gas mask. Didn't we?
No, we didn't have a gas mask,
Bro,
bro.
I'm pretty sure we
Yeah,
had.
we didn't have a gas mask that night. I
Oh, yeah,
remember
water
it was just
bottle.
all tinny,
we
bro.
had something, bro.
Bro, it was all tinny. I remember,
Alright,
bro. I remember.
Now
all
you guys
tinny.
heard the full story of how we first turned.
But like, again, I mean, like, I would just remember like the end of that night. You know, Tyler's dad crashes in. You know, just boom.
Oh my god!
Everyone just scatters
Just
out
like-
the front door.
I'm just like, no!
I remember I'm sitting there and like everyone's dipping out. I grab the bottles, I put them under the shit, and like I push everything on the floor, and like I just remember like balling up the paper and like putting it under the couch because a little bit of the weed that we had on that thing, and just I remember sitting there. He's just like, I think you should go, Steven. And I'm like, okay, yeah.
Okay, I'll go.
And then I leave, and I leave behind you guys. I eventually catch up with you guys outside. You know. But I remember it was like absolutely insane, crazy.
It's just such a. It's just wow, man. That was just. I'm glad we did
I'm glad I
that.
was able to get
I
those
know that might not
photos.
have been the best pleasing thing to viewers who weren't part of the story, but that was nice to be able to combine all those separate parts.
Oh yeah.
Fuck
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Tell that,
Oh
Stephen.
yeah. Oh
Tell
yeah.
them,
Oh
fuck
yeah.
them.
I didn't say fuck that. I was just like,
He said, fuck
whatever.
them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just, I mean, it's a part of like how this whole thing got emotional. Of like when we were talking about
Yeah.
previous stories, I mean, like the whole thing of how we all started hanging out on a solid basis.
It's just wild though.
you
We
know?
just took that all the way back there though when I cut my leg. I mean,
Yeah.
when I was like 13, 14.
Yeah, because you remember you brought up your friend group, and I brought up my friend group in the
Literally, we're
neighborhood.
going,
Yeah,
that
exactly.
was
We're just
always to the
going.
point where we did that till. I mean, we got to what we were like 16, probably 17,
I think it was like 15, 16, you know?
15, 16.
Yeah, we
early.
were in between there, you know? We're in
Yeah.
between there. And that's when we started hanging out consistently. That's when we really started, like, shit just started popping off from there, you know? And that's how we.
Got that fake ID when I was 17, dog.
You did? You did?
Yeah,
Oh,
bro.
man. Like I said, I mean, like, I didn't know that.
17 years old, bro. and looked just like me. Never
remember hearing-
once declined me.
I remember hearing about that. Like, I remember Abby telling me about that shit.
So, ain't that crazy how that goes?
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
yeah, no got fake ID. It's just like, what?
Because I remember Nebby started hanging out with us a lot more. And I remember like it was just me and Tyler. Like I wasn't leaving as much. And I think, you know, I mean, you know, at your house especially, because I mean you were up in Charlotte, and I just remember just walking home from there sucked. It was terrible.
Yeah.
To walk home from in the Heights. You know, it's just like this is fucking terrible. Oh my god. So
Who you telling?
they stopped going up there.
Everywhere I go, I
And I remember I link with you every once in a while. You know, every once in a while. And I remember you had your butt.
that's
your
when he's
money.
playing the Madden, right?
Yeah, exactly, Yeah. And I remember just like, yeah. I remember thinking with Nebby. Nebby just like,
who didn't sell one, bro? I mean, come
oh
on.
yeah, so buddy, yeah.
Come
So,
on,
buddy,
man.
we all tried to do it.
We
Yeah,
all
we all tried to do it.
We all did sell some bud, bro.
Yeah, because bro, I don't know about you, but I'll just always see Shrewsbury, bro. I'll just be like, oh, yeah, well, I want some money. Want some money? Allegedly. Yeah, allegedly I saw these things. But I mean, like,
But really, he was
it's
like
wild,
breaking
like,
even.
the youth, like how our youth, like I feel like our youth was pretty tame overall compared to what some people go through. You know what I'm saying? Like we had a pretty chill and enjoyable, like you know, like the few experiences I had out there. You know, they were awesome. I mean, I don't remember any real bad ones.
I mean, yeah, but I guess this.
Until we
would all-
got older, you know.
For me, that would all tie back though to what we started out here though, where it's just like same thing with school, bro. Where it's like sometimes that's better than at home. So like, was it enjoyable when we hung out? It was, we always had a good time.
Yeah.
But obviously a lot of people that you think, let's just go around in that circle, right? So you
Wolf.
start just, we can start with Wolf. Look what happened.
Mhm.
We won't even get into it. Look, but basically, right, was obviously something was happening during the time you were hanging out with him that changed his life
In
forever,
school, yeah.
right?
Yep.
Same thing with Nebby. You know what I mean? Same thing with Jeff. Same thing with fucking Mike T. All of these people, everybody was going through something at that time, whether it be good or bad. And what's going on at home, that's going to change you a lot more than what's going on when you're hanging out with your boys for a couple of hours.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%, man.
At the end of the
100%.
day, you got to go there.
I mean, that's the thing. I remember, like, there was people, with Antonio or, with a couple people I knew where they were staying at that person's house at that point in time. I mean, they were 15, 16, and they're staying at their friend's house, full time. You know? I remember at my house, I've had 2 or 3 people, that, me and my grandmother, like to stay in my house, and we're trying. I remember Abby was one of them at one point. I was just like, came and stayed there for a while, it's just like, I would ask her, and she was always cool with it, just,
Just
which was
trying to help,
awesome.
bro. She
Yeah,
was a
exactly.
good woman, bro.
Exactly. Same thing with-
Grandma's like a woman.
Same thing with my sister, a lot of Antonio's friends. Antonio's friends would come over there, and there was like a house of refuge, and Man, it does so much for a lot of people, man.
Your
It
grandma
really
should go
does.
to heaven, dog.
Yeah.
As simple as
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
As simple as that, man.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
grandma's earned that fucking
100%.
right. She should earn. She should better be bad in her next life and get to heaven.
Exactly. Yeah.
She did
Go enjoy
generations.
some sitting a little
It
bit.
reminds
you
me
know?
of that the Big Sean lyric when she's like, she raised the kids, then she raised the kids, and she did it right.
Yeah.
A lot of people,
Yeah,
bro,
man.
right? A lot of grandmoms like raised
Yeah.
their kids. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of situations even where grandmoms are addicts or grandparents are addicts, but they're still like in kids' lives, you know. And it's crazy how like these little things, bro. It is so wild, you know. Like I remember my uncle died when I was 4, bro. I got multiple memories of this guy. He died when I was 4. You know, it's crazy. I remember nothing else that early. Just multiple memories of this guy because it just made that impression.
Yeah.
You know, it's just whatever it may be, good or bad, it was an impression, you know. It's I don't know, that's one of those ones, man, you know. Life just builds you a certain way, bro. It's either good or bad. It is what it is, bro.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
Just the sheer amount of people you come across
I'm starting to wonder how much you
in
control
various
it, you know?
in various situations,
and how
you know?
much it's just like
Yeah.
here you are.
Yeah.
Here you are.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. You know, for us to come across.
Yeah, not even like you don't even. And when you think like that, it don't even have to be simulation. That is one option, but it straight up could just be like your destiny,
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
destiny has nothing to do with simulation. You
Yeah.
know, it's just like that's your destiny, bro.
It's
But
just
to reach these steps, man, to learn these little lessons.
that's why a lot of times it feels like a bunch of revolving doors. And every once in a while, like you're coming in and like you come across someone for a split moment and you see them real close to their revolving door, and you're just like, hey, and it's just
You're right.
and
Yeah.
you're gone, you know, and it's another face you eventually see, you know, just
And then you're enter one for a
twirling-
while or whatever.
yeah,
it is.
of like someone's life and your lives intertwined, and then you start spinning together.
Yep.
You know,
It's
it's
crazy.
it is
bro.
man, relationships,
What?
people, like the way we have like private life sectored off, like it's kind of like really insane, you know. Like I mean, like again, you know, like we always go back, you know, we were chilling, you know, and you're like, yeah, you're here, you know, yeah, we're talking, we're shooting shit, yeah, we're cool, it's awesome, yeah. Then we always go back to like our like little shelters of life, you know, where you're
Yep.
just like you're in your private life, you know,
After
where
the
only
trips,
you,
we always talk
only
about
you,
that.
like exactly,
Yeah.
just let's go back to this.
It's like now you just okay. I'm like, remember we had that long ass talk. I remember Steve. I'm like, you just go back to your life.
I think
Steve.
Bray was outside for 30 minutes.
I'm
that
like,
day.
I go back to my life. Like, I'm like, don't forget what happened here.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's so
Yeah,
weird, bro.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's just
What
like
the
there's such a
fuck?
huge separation, like of like how things move and like just the way that like how it, like works. And then when you're in a, I mean, like especially like especially when we do this podcast, it's just me and you here,
Yeah.
so it makes it really like odd and like makes it like it's like not something you do with a lot of people, like I mean,
And
like,
I'm expecting for you to answer every question I ask. You're expecting the same, you know what I mean? It's like at this point, it's about how far you willing to push that openness.
yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
how open are you willing
Yeah.
to be? Are we 100% open?
Yeah.
How much should we reserve? You know,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, we've gotten to the neighbor talk before. You know, I've already said I want my boys to be my neighbors. I've already
Yeah.
explained that, but it's weird, man. When I just think about, that I've told you before. I think about, if something happened to you, like what the fuck, or like, any like you think about the people that I've went through all these revolving doors with, and that I learned to cherish. To be like, damn, like this is something. This was one of the best doors I opened, basically. And it's weird how you build these bonds, bro. Like at this point, right? I've known you for more of my life than not.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, dude, I met you when I was 10. 10, that's young too.
Young
Not
as
like
fuck.
16 or 20, or 30
No,
or something.
no.
Like, it's like 10. And then here I am 28. It's crazy. 18 years, bro. No, yeah. You just build these bonds with people, and especially when you don't have family, dude. Like I'm not gonna cancel friend plans for anything to do with family. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm canceling family plans to be with friends. That's how I've cherished it. So it's weird. It's weird also, like how like you meet like I'm like, oh, you're just like I've had plenty of times. Obviously we've reciprocated it, but But you run into these people where you're like, oh man, you're this awesome person, bro. And you even try to explain and show to them, and you try to hang out with them. They just don't want to hang out.
Yeah.
They're already in their groups, and doing their things,
Yep.
I think a great example is being full honest. I think a great example of that is Grant, right? We talked about it before, like Grant, awesome guy, bro. Awesome combo. Love his mind. Love the way he works. Love his energy. Love everything about the guy, man.
Yeah.
People already know he's great.
Yeah.
Plenty of people have already seen it. And he's tied in with people that met him when he was 10.
And,
You see what I mean?
That's one of the funny things. He's one of the few people that, I went and chilled with, just me and him.
Yeah.
He's one of the few people that I've done that with.
That's a cool guy, bro.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very small amount of people that I've done that with. You know what I'm
Grant's
saying?
bro, Grant's just an awesome energy. He's
Yeah.
open, you know what I mean? Like, everybody has their flaws, obviously. We all do. But, like, dude's just an open guy. He's always been fun with everybody. Trying to be cool with everybody. Trying to be able to. I'll shout out Grant. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. We miss you, Grant. We miss you. Shout out. Hope everything's great in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know, bro. But that was one of them guys where you're like, damn, man. Like, I wish we could hang out more. But you're off doing other shit. You know? I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I'm sure people probably, I like to think, people have met me and been like, oh, damn, can't hang out because he's always doing something with his other friend or something, Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe not. I know my boy was telling me that today, though. I came to my boy today, and he was like, as soon as I came out to him, he hands me a coffee. He's like, every time I go to get on, run the car with you, I was playing FIFA now. It's like, you're in big parties. I feel weird even hopping in on it. I'm like, you get on later, bro. Like, that's how I explain it. That's Sam.
Yeah. I like Sam.
Yeah, Sam's cool. Yeah.
Fucking party, bro.
Yeah,
but I get it though.
Yeah,
huge parties. It's like 2 or 3. It's like okay.
I was like,
we get into like 6. It's like whoa.
I was like, man, I'm gonna look for a deal, bro. I might just send him FIFA to download one day, because he's played before. He just don't want to buy a game.
Yeah,
that's a whole different argument of like, what are we doing? What are we doing? If it is happiness, no one could ever take that away, right? That's the thing. Like if they took away all gaming tomorrow, you could be 50 years old and you still would be like, I used to love playing COD. Like, there's just no fucking denying it, bro. We love it. Like, so now you're like saying like something makes me happy, but the problem is that it makes you unhealthy, because that's just the bottom line. The bottom line is, when you're gaming, you're not doing nothing.
And it takes you
You're just sitting there and you're not productive at all. You're just gaming on something that don't matter.
Yeah, you're having a fun time with your friends. It's fun. It's for fun. This is a leisure activity.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's not a gotta do any type of work.
And it's like you beat yourself up, like, oh man, I gotta do this other thing. Like, I'm like, oh man, I should be reading. You know what I mean? I should be reading right now, or I should do this.
Go on a jog.
Come on, got jog.
Clean
It's
or something.
Like, but really, it's
like you gotta do things just to make you feel good about playing your games.
Right. But if someone came up to you and said, the only thing that makes me happy is gaming, you would tell them to eat, sleep, shit, work, and game.
No, to take care of yourself. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't be a junkie.
Yeah.
You're a gaming junkie. Yeah. Can't take it away from you, bro.
Yeah. Don't go raping people and eating all the food we got.
That's what I eat. And I'm like, game of those things. GTA.
Can't play that. Can't go to VR and do that.
Neck in GTA.
You know, VR do that. Sure.
It's so crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's a whole nother
Imagine
level.
when they just build like a virtual reality, pocket pussy going on, then they add something to your dick.
I remember we talked about it, but I think we were tripping. I think we were talking about it. So would you, allow people, to go into VR, and then it's like the child sex style thing all over again, where it's like you allow them to go into VR. Like what do you do right there? You allow people to do that for like some type of therapy with a therapist or study or something. Like weird.
That's the one I think we'll just never be able to improve,
No.
man. I've thought about it a lot. I just don't think we'll be able to improve.
We gotta find a different route.
That's just wild. That's just too wild.
That's what I'm saying.
Here's my thing that I have trouble with when it comes to that. I just don't get, right? How would you properly price someone's entity? So you're a porn star and you do your first video in VR. You know what I mean? Like, what is that worth? What is you in VR worth, right? That's what I'm saying. We're going to get to a weird point. Like, I was trying to explain this to people the other day.
The likeness?
Like, so when we get to a point, right, where I can do anything from at home through VR, should I still be paid the same? You see what I mean? So if literally okay, Hillary Clinton gives $100,000 Harvard speech, right? If there was a virtual reality where she was a hologram, she's in virtual reality, you know what I mean? And we create that to a point of no side effect, 100% seems legit. Should she get paid the same, right? And then, so think about how people copy those porn videos. You know, people upload videos and then people just copy.
Yeah, just re-upload it, upload it.
Same thing you would imagine with VR, right? And now we get to a point where, like, you can take the entity of someone's character, right? That's the problem. So when you're talking about, like, this is the ultimate problem in this. Okay, that's what I've got to.
Mhm.
It's the entity of the character.
Yeah.
Right? When you think about doing that thing for those predators, right? That child resembles a face of a real child, right?
Yep.
It's not a blank face. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can't get past that part right there. We just can't get past
the
that.
likeness. Yeah.
Can't get past that, bro. So there's just no way we can do that. But people are gonna mod. People are gonna mod, bro.
And do weird shit. And people do that weird shit, you know? And that's the one thing with, like, you know, especially like the internet and, like, you know, technology and computers, like there'll never be like a control of that type of behavior. You know, if people want to go behind onto the dark web and do whatever the case may be, they're gonna fucking do it.
If they wanted to, though, they could just cut the sea wire and take down the satellites, right? And just take the internet. Or they could make it to where just like military is able to access internet. Like China. China basically does that.
It's state operated.
You know what I mean? So it's like they already do that.
Yeah.
I don't even know how they're able to do that. That's a good question. But they already do that.
But I mean, you know, people still get out of the, you know, still have their workarounds around those things, you know, and still operate in the dark.
Right. But then you're talking about like 1 out of 100 instead of 10 out of 100 or whatever. You know what I mean?
But once you put something like that up, like that type of like censorship, I think you encourage a lot more people to do so.
Well, you see, the key with censorship is to make you think you're not being censored. That's the thing. So, like in America, you read all those articles, you see 1,000 articles.
Chinese people think about it.
You know what I mean? Like, and not only that, but like, okay, well, what? Washington Post wrote that article. Bezos owns Washington Post.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So, I mean, come on, we're spinning in circles here. How much faith are you going to put in what you're even reading?
Yeah.
That's the problem, bro. We're tortured with this, and nobody's ever going to be able to come forward and be like, "Oh, this is non-biased news." And I'm giving you, you know, straight facts. It just doesn't work, homie. It just does not work. You know, I think at this point, we should just eliminate all opinions in news. There should just be no opinions. We really don't even need much commentary. You could probably cut it down to just one host saying a minimum of a few words.
There's no reason CNN runs 24 hours a day.
No. It should really just be you showing videos, pictures, you know, and then bringing in experts talking about what's happening. I mean, that's what I would imagine the news should be. Instead, you just try to put a personality back there who's usually doing some sexual assault allegations and's got buttons that lock doors behind his desk and shit. You know what I mean? He's got to settle fucking multi-million-dollar lawsuits. I mean, just sick fucks. But hey, you're trying to get a face so that you can just talk your shit and people hit your likes and your sell. And look at it, bro. It's still working. So let's talk about that. How do we get to a point of non-biased news?
I mean, you know, I think that's a point of non-biased news. So, I mean, you know, the ability to tell a story for the facts given, you know, I mean, like that's the thing. When you leave it up to like a company or like a press, you know, whoever would do that, you know, whether it be like whatever you want to call it, a press company, a press corps, or a group of people running around with cameras or notepads and camera, you know, whatever. You have to entrust those individuals to carry and have that integrity to carry out that type of unbiased news, which is the problem. You know, it was like, you know, like there are people who set out with that venture, but like, you know, it's like the system corrupts them, you know, and moves them along, you know, down those lines where like they're just running the stories, or whoever controls them runs the stories, you know. Again, you know, I mean, like, you know, it's a tough thing because you think about like the amount of people that you have. And you know, I mean, like especially when it comes to garnering votes or positions of power and things like that, it's like, you know, you're always gonna, like, you as a person are biased. So I think you would have to have. I mean, it's tough to say because you would say like maybe AI can generate some type of news, but like we write the AI, right? So again, those very biases as well.
So let me ask you, thinking about that. Let me ask you this: why do you think that you should know what's going on in India?
Good question. It's a very good question.
Right?
Yeah. And India's affairs, or any Americans' take on Indians' affair, or you know.
Anything outside America.
But I mean, like it's like people have always put a very valuable price on like just information. You
To
know,
me, it always seems like they're trying to justify what they're doing.
it's like
Yeah.
so especially as like modern especially as like news and like radio took off, where you had a constant stream, because before you just had to go buy a newspaper or it was word of mouth or some shit like that. You know, and then before that, I mean like you only knew what you heard from other people, so information was very valuable. So now we got to this point where well, now everything's information, and we're not doing a very good job of like differentiating what's good information because there's too much of it. It's so much for your brain, man.
And it
so
looks,
much for your
not
brain.
only that, but it looks real. It
Yeah.
looks more real every day, bro.
And I mean, like, I think it's like, why do people like gossip? Well, I think people just like information. They just like data. They just like things to hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, well, you know what's going on in Susie's house. Why would anyone want to care about that? Well, it's information.
That's funny.
You know,
you
it's
said
like,
that.
you know,
That's funny you said that though, right? Because I was thinking about earlier, like, why is it that the age-old question of would you rather, right? Like, why is that such like a common, forever impregnated like want to know from another person, right? Like, why do I even want to know these would you rathers from you, right? Or anyone? What could that possibly be for any reason, right? I started thinking about that. I was like, well, it's really so that I can balance my own morals and logic, right? Because, like, in my mind, say I'm all about myself all my life. I see a lion. I'm like, every time I see that lion, I'm fucking running. I'm not even going to fuck with that lion. You know what I mean? Now I'm like, well, what do you do when you see a lion? You know what I mean? Now you're like, I don't fuck with that lion. Every time I see a lion, we're fucking
I'm on the right track.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, yeah. You see what I mean? So a lot of times, like, we always have this curiosity of wondering what another person would do in that situation.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, we want to know, would you go into that blazing fire?
I mean, that one arguably, shows a lot of people's thinking process. You know, I mean, how they go about, approaching things and how their brain tackles them.
Well, none of us know what we're doing, bro. We don't know what we're doing. Everything that you base everything off of is from what someone told you. Everything.
Yeah.
So we don't know what we're doing, right?
That's what I'm saying. So when you hear someone like, oh, you hear something like they say a different answer than what you would rather, and you're just like, huh, why? And then they say something, you're just like, well, I never thought about it like that or some shit.
Right.
You know.
But there's certain things where, like,
I think that has value. But I'm like, I think the thing that we're talking about is like, well, who's Susie sleeping with, and why is she cheating on our boyfriend? It's like, why would we care about that? It's like
that one I think is just straight up juicy. It's just like,
listen,
right? I'm just,
Yeah.
That's just a natural thing. I think to want to know what's going on in the trial.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No matter what it is, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's definitely a natural thing. But you're right. I was talking to my cousin the other day, and he was like, "Yeah, he moved into an apartment. He was talking about people underneath of him. He's like, I heard him yelling, so I got down on my knees and put my ear to the ground. And I was thinking about like how everybody has done that.
Yeah.
Everybody has put their ear to the ground, like, what are they saying?
Yeah.
What's going on over there? Even though it's got fucking nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I think all of that's okay. I just want to know why you care what's going on in India. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah,
the one where it's like, okay, well, why are they showing me that? See, we got to reverse engineer. Why are they showing me what's going on in other countries? Well, they're trying to justify what's going on in my country, right? So if the stock price crumbles on something, they want to write an article so they can justify what happened. Oh, they had a stock report of this, and then this happened, and then the cataract and CEO stepped down, and bam. They want to justify everything that's going on, So that's what they're always going to do, bro. They're always going to have the best journalists on their side. They're paid.
Yeah.
If it's about money, we know they get paid the most.
And again,
if it's about resources, they have the most.
Again, the value we put on information, and the value we've always put on information as like as humans,
But that's what some of these things, right? There's things in your life, right, that you've been taught that you never question again, right? Like the other day, I learned that you can take your old oil to AutoZone. I never questioned it again. You could take your AutoZone, you could take it to AutoZone. Final. But you have certain ones, right, that came to you when you were young and you were taught them in a certain way. And throughout your life, you've repeated that question of that scenario to other people because you wanted to see what they thought, right? Because when you experienced that scenario and you played it out how you were taught to, it didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Like that's what I was saying, like when I cut myself, the same exact thing. Like you're playing out these scenarios, but you know something's not right here. So you keep questioning it and you keep asking other people, getting other people's opinions. You know, there's times I think when you need that, when something doesn't feel correct. Like, if let's say you're raised in a gang, but you know that, murder's not right. Drug dealing to your mom's a crackhead, whatever it is, whatever it may be. You know the shit's not right. But if everybody you can go to, you question 10 people, you question more than one person, you keep questioning it. But everybody you go to tells you, bro, my mom's a crackhead, but we get this money. You see what I mean? You're never going to get nowhere, bro. But you have the natural divinity to want to ask that same question because you know something ain't right. But you have to be able to put yourself in that different scenario, follow that divinity, experience the unknown, right? To be able to say, oh, there it is. Finally, you reach the point where something or someone made sense on something never did.
Yeah.
But then there's other things that you easily be like, yeah, that's fact. You see what I mean? So it's funny how we also are distinguishing like our own realities per se, right? Because we can live 2 blocks away, but we got different people we encounter. Everybody I encountered said, don't go out on those streets. These boys are no good. Everybody you encountered said, boy, get your money out there, get somebody under you and go get a pound, or whatever it is. So it's like we're blocks away, but we're experiencing such different altered realities, man.
Yeah.
Next door, same exact thing.
And even how you're perceiving it. I mean, it's like your perception about
exactly.
it. Where it's like some people are like, the world's got it out for me. But some people are like, I just had a string of bad circumstances. Tomorrow's looking better.
And then some people are like, I'm a bad person. And I deserve bad things.
And then some people are like, well, someone's pulling strings behind me.
And then some people are good and are getting bad things happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different alternate things that can be going on there. Like, as I'm saying, I don't want to be around no woe is me type motherfuckers, bro. I'm just done with that type of shit. Like, that's why I said I don't even like talking about me. Because if I talk about me, I'm talking in the past. Because, like, by the time I told you something about myself, I wanted to learn something new in that time. You know what I mean? So I would have rather have just asked you about something that you knew that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to talk about myself.
And that's the thing. Like, I remember, like whenever you meet new people, it's like you kind of like you go back and over with somebody, and like now, like when I talk about certain things come up, like it's just like I just glaze over it super like fast, like, and it's like monotone. It's like, okay, yeah, this is what happened. Okay, then they passed away, and then I was here. Now I'm here. That's just what it is. Like it's like not even like a like it's like a you sit on like one knee. You're just like it all started when I was a young boy. It's like you just glaze through it so quick. It's just like look, we're past that. I am past that. I'm okay.
Right.
We're good. Life right now is cool.
I'll figure it out. Yeah.
So we're great. And then I'm moving on to bigger and better things. I'm looking forward to those things. Okay. No, I'm not stuck on no past shit. Like where some people are still harboring a lot of their past shit,
bro,
and still are harboring a lot of things that happen.
The truth is, we all are. That's what I said earlier. The truth is, we all are. But we're coping, bro, and we're trying to build a better future. And some people are letting that drag them back and using that as a reason to not be productive, bro. As a reason for failure. Mm-hmm. And we're using it for the opposite, a reason for motivation to be the complete opposite, bro.
And then I remember being like 17, 18, and I remember like talking to Nabby at one point. I'm not for either him or Tyler, and I'm just like, or maybe it was like 20 or something. I'm not sure, maybe a little older. And I'm just talking, and I'm just like, it's like I just always felt like it's like sink or swim. I'm not gonna sink. Like when I talk to you, it's like, well, there's this, and then there's I'm gonna die. Well, I'm never gonna die. Like, well, I have this, and if I don't do this, then they're gonna take it from me. Well, they're never taking it from me. It's like it's just always been those certainties in my mind that I was never gonna allow. You know what I'm saying?
You know what you have to do to avoid it.
Exactly.
Simple as that. You're not gonna get to that point.
Yeah. And I mean, people make missteps, and mistakes, and they necessarily don't even follow through with what they truly believe, and then some people get back on
Yep.
track, some people don't, some people self-correct, some people don't.
But like, I mean, and that's like I'm learning like I was told not to compare stories, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I try not to talk about myself, because I know people had it worse. And it bothers me when people I know had it less, bad. At least
Had it worse.
Had it worse. No, had it, let's say,
Better.
had it better
Yeah.
than me, right? So had it better than me. And are complaining more.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like I don't want to say nothing, because someone had it worse than me. So I don't want to be the one that's like complaining about nothing when someone experienced that to the 10th degree. But I had a scenario the other day, bro. These two people are talking, and they're both going back and forth, like kind of with like their origin stories, and I just kind of was avoiding it. And it was just some soft ass origin stories, bro. That, not to say they didn't experience trials or tribulations, but it wasn't nothing, bro. It wasn't nothing out of the ordinary. You know what I mean? That like simple shit that can go wrong in life, like parents divorce. So like I remember like one guy was talking about how like his parents, they broke up when he was 17, so at 18 they both went their separate ways, and he could have chose the one with them, but he basically wanted to go out and do his own thing, was able to make it happen. I didn't ask no questions or nothing, but he was saying it, like I went and got it. And I'm just like, not even trying to be that guy, but like, bro, I was getting it like that 3 years before you were, bro. You know what I mean? On a day's notice. Like, not even trying to fucking hear nobody's sob story, bro. I'm not going to tell my own, and I don't want nobody to be out here crying their own, right? The only time I want you to release shit like that is if it's hurting you, bro. If it's really hurting you and you need to talk about these things, right?
Yeah.
You need to bring them up and be like, man, what do you think about it? We could talk about it all day long. I'm here to make progress. I want you to do that. But if you're going to be bringing these things up like, this is the reason I'm like this, I want to hear that, bro. Nobody wants to hear that shit, bro. We're trying to do a circle of killers, dogs, you know what I mean? Like, highly productive, intellectual, modern day, savage males with logic, as you would say, all the combined, all the traits that are bestowed upon an evolved man. Right? We're trying to eliminate lust and distrust and greed and ego. This is what we're working towards, So why are we gonna keep going backwards, people? Why are we gonna keep going backwards? I think we need to establish, like, who do you like being around? Like, there's people I would tell to their face that I would eat their face if it meant like Steve stayed alive. You see what I mean? Like, I just feel like I've made like decisions in my life of like who I value, and you're just one of those people that that I feel that way about. Like, I've made this decision of these people who I value, and I've spotted these people that, whether they were like bad people or evil people, some of them were, but whether they were better, like, they just weren't for my progression, and there wasn't gonna be progression on that side with them. I feel like I've been good at making those decisions. Continue moving forward. Tomorrow's a better day, right?
Yeah. I mean, but one of the biggest things I've learned, one of the biggest things you learn, I think, when you move on is like you always learn what you don't want to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's how we learn.
First and foremost, before you know what you want to be, it's what you don't want to be.
Yep.
And you figure out who you don't want to be around, and how you want to be treated, and and those things. And I mean, I talk to a lot of people, and they talk about how they, value themselves later in life rather than earlier, and eventually at one point they come to this realization, they're like, I'm a fucking awesome person, and a lot of those times there's a good heart people who just never really thought, about it, or no one ever told them, things like that,
Right.
And we're talking about those people that come from those types of hurt backgrounds where they didn't have a mother or father told them that they love them. So you get older, those relationships become a little more treacherous for you. You're not sure how to tell people you love them.
And that's a special thing, bro.
It really is, bro.
Because we're so quick to point out what we don't like about people, bro.
Yeah.
But when people do something right, like, that's what I always try to pride myself on. All my life, people have said, you pick me apart you're this, you're hard on me, whatever it is. But when people do good, I try to pride myself that I congratulate them
Yeah.
when they do good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you tried to hold yourself on both sides of accountability of that, you know? And that's the problem also, is that like what you were just talking about. But on the contrary, is that some people are really bad people and believe that they really are good. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
a fucking twist to that category
Yeah,
there.
this surely
You
is.
know, so we have a lot of different twists there of like how just one feeling of that can be perceived, and then you add multiple feelings, then you add like what went on, previous encounters, childhood, parents, and you're talking about like
On
a truly individual.
on
You know?
top of groupthink, which society generally thinks left, right, media, family relations. I mean, everything, every aspect of your life. So much to juggle.
That's why, you just try to be easy on people, man. You try to be easy on people. You try to be understanding if someone go through, but some people are so nasty, dude.
Yeah.
They're so mad because the only reason they're like that is because they're hurt, bro. And you know that 99% of the time it's going to come from a childhood thing, dude.
Yep.
They are hurting, bro. So when people have somebody to say, man, we really need to find a way to say it. Like you were saying, like, I'm not good at that. But it's like something you need to say, So we got to find that way to be able to push through with that. And sometimes that means that you lose a friend.
Yeah.
Sometimes that means you lose a family member, whatever it may be. The best part is being, this is the honest thing. Because if not, you go these years with this false friendship or this false familyhood, that really don't exist. These people would turn their back on you in a second. If there was danger, they would make sure they're self-safe before they even care about you. You know what I mean? That type of person. We got to be able to identify these people, man, accept for who they are.
Talk about those things, yeah.
And that's another time when people say, I wish I could be like you.
A difficult
Bro,
conversation.
what do you mean? I cut off, best friends. You think this shit's easy? You think, oh, why is he my best friend? What do you think? I'm gay? You know what I mean? I got a best friend as a guy because I value him as a person. I value what they bring to me. I don't want to lose any of my best friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I cut one off, you think it's just easy? I'm just like, fuck you. Nah, it's like, damn, bro. I had to do this. I had to do this, bro. I know I had to do this in order for me to have my sanctuary, and have my peace at the end of the night.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, go through a lot of their life, sacrificing their own.
Can't do it, bro.
You can't. You will be miserable. You will be miserable.
They will just keep these people. I mean, bro, a perfect example. Like, I'm lying to you not. A perfect example is my mother's side of the family, right? Dog, I swear to God, right? My mom used to work all damn day. Get home 5 o'clock. All my aunts and uncles get home 5 o'clock. It's like 7 of them. My grandma, right? Couple friends. Bro, as soon as they got home, they would just talk about each other, dude. My mom would call my grandma and talk about my Aunt Barb. My Aunt Barb would call my Aunt Darlene, talk about my mom. My mom would talk about Lou. My Aunt Barb would talk about my mom about Lou. You see what I mean? Like, that's just all they did, bro. I always remember, dude, my mind is weird, Steve. I chamber weird shit, bro. But this is like why, like, I'm glad we talk about shit like this so I can explain to you why I chambered it, right? There was a really weird time. I'm sitting around the table, and it's me, my mom, my Aunt Darlene, and my Aunt Barb. And this is all the women, basically, in that side of the family. And all of their boyfriends are there. Right? None of them got husbands. They all got boyfriends, and they're there. And we're playing this game or whatever. And my mom and my Aunt Barb start talking about how that, oh, I'm happy we all got our boys here. And I'll never fucking forget it, bro. My mom looked over my Aunt Barb and she said, yeah, I don't even want to say his fucking name because fuck him. But, she was like, mine. But mine is the cutest. And I'll just never forget that my mom said that, bro. I mean, this was a happy time with family. Everybody, was sober enough to have a good time. We're playing a game. Everybody's laughing. We got food. Everything's so great, And my aunt tries to give a compliment. Not saying my aunt was even any different than my mom, but my aunt tries to give a compliment and just say, I'm so happy we have all these guys here. Everybody's here. And my mom just had to go, my mom's the cutest, right? To her own sister, bro.
Yeah.
And I just remember I just chambered that day, dude. I'm just like, I'll never be that. I'll never be that to someone that I care about. That's why I'm so like, I don't want to talk about myself because I don't want you to think that I want, I'm trying to like,
it's all that.
Look at me. Look at me.
I'm not gonna do that.
I'm so cool. I was just like, I'm
so,
never do that, bro. I'm never, and ruining a great moment. Like now my aunt feels weird. You know what I mean? Like now the guy feels weird. The guy that my aunt's with feels, everybody feels weird. Like you made it, you ruined the moment. All because of what? Because some fucking guy was fucking you? You know what I mean? That looked maybe 1 point better than the next man here, like with no job still and an addiction.
For what?
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just like, and these are the people that I'm supposed to look up to. These are the people,
you favors for, you care about. You know what I mean?
I'm just like, dude, like, man, I couldn't wait to get away, Steve. I couldn't, bro. Since the time I was fucking born. My sister ran away. My only sister that cared about me ran away when I was young as shit, bro.
Yeah.
So for me, I couldn't wait to get away, bro. I was just like many a nights, bro, thinking about like if I ran away, where would I go? Like I remember for a while I had a back door like right to my room, and I remember just many a nights, bro, packing my shit and just being like, I'm just gonna leave, man. I'm just gonna go. Like I don't gotta deal with this shit, I'll figure out this shit, man. And I always was like, well, I always built up that fear in the back of your head and like that comfortability, of being like, well, what if something happens to me? Or like, I don't got nowhere to go. Like, where am I going to go to? I can't even, I got no money. I got nothing, And then it's like, oh, I love my nephew. I love my sister. Like, I'm not leave nobody. Like, many of times, but I just, I couldn't wait to go, basically. I always had a plan, to leave as soon as I could. So for me, it all happened kind of fucked up and it wouldn't happen ideally, but like looking back on it, I'm just like, I'm glad that I kind of got that boot to, move on from that, bro, because this is just like, my family had a loser's mentality, bro. There's no another way to put it, bro. They had a loser's mentality. They always thought they deserved more than they earned. And that they always got less than they should have. Like they always assumed that. They never did nothing. They never were anything or did anything in life, and always thought that like, that's how like, I don't want to attack people, but we know a friend that was like that we used to talk about where it's like, he always felt like he deserved something that, wasn't even there. Like you think that someone should have did this for you, but you've never done anything for that person.
Yeah.
But you just assume that people are supposed to do shit for you, Like that's like my mom had the mindset of like, we're supposed to get food stamps. Like if I make this much and I'm not getting food stamps, I'll lie about it because we're supposed to get food stamps. You see what I mean? Like they had this mentality of like, I should be getting help because of the situation I'm in. But they put themselves in this situation. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I just like, I never felt bad, man. I never felt bad, bro.
Yeah.
I wish my family was like Mexicans and that they all moved into the same house because we would have lived a lot better, bro. We would have been able to keep a house. Like all of my family always had like a place to live. They just never kept it. It was always 1 year leases. You're gone. You're on to the next place,
Yeah.
If they just would have came together like some Spanish people do, or like African, all of these families, we could have got a 3-bedroom and everybody been paying $500 instead of paying $1,100 a piece. You see what I mean? Like, it's just done. Like, there's a bad mindset, bro. Not like financially literate and shit, just like some of it's just straight up barbaric.
Yeah.
It's wild, bro. You learned a lot. I'm thankful, but like some of the shit's just like barbaric when you
you just not, I'm sure you're just like, it's bad decisions, mistakes, missteps that someone took out there. I mean, like,
this simple, like for me, like flossing, bro. Like I told you before, bro.
Yeah.
Did not know what flossing was, bro, until I grew up, bro. I'm talking like literally like 8th grade, basically, and being like, oh, what the fuck are you like? What? I didn't even know shit got stuck in your teeth like that, bro. That's how dumb because you don't know, bro.
No one taught you.
It's so crazy.
No one taught you.
It kind of makes me happy. It makes me smile thinking about how being that dumb, and then being who I am now. and like the knowledge I think that I withhold, and have. Like, and at one point, it's just like, that's what makes me have faith in people because I was so dumb. You know what I mean? Like, I believe this shit. Like,
Yeah.
I believed, pissing in this empty Huggy can was going to give me a PlayStation the next day. I believed that a heroin addict would take 70 of my dollars and bring back 140. You see what I mean? Like, I believed that we would be on the same house the next year. You're so dumb towards all these things. And then, like, you don't even realize that people can lie.
No,
you don't even understand, like, a good lie. You see what I mean?
Yeah, you're just going along for the ride.
Like, and then, like, you finally catch, like, I remember the first time, bro, that I really caught my dad with his drug shooting kit, And at this point, I already caught him shooting up, but I never caught, like, his kit, But long story short, I could tell he was acting weird around this certain area, bro. He walks out. I open it up. It's his sunglass case, and it's got everything you need, spoon, needle, rubber band, everything, So he's ready to go. And I remember I'm looking at it, and I put it back, and before he got back. And when he came in, like, somehow, bro, he knew that I messed with it, bro. And I have still to this day, I have no clue. But I remember I'm just sitting there the entire time, and I'm trying to talk to him about him, and like, he's given me, like, in probably 5 minutes, he probably gave me 4 different reasons of what that was or what it could have been. Dude, I believed every one. The last one he told me is the one I left with and believed it. Like, that's how gullible you are, but you love people so much, you don't think, oh, my dad's not gonna lie to me about nothing.
No, exactly.
I mean, he fed me today.
If you weren't, I mean, like,
why would he feed me if he was gonna lie to me? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
if he was somehow lie to you, you would figure it out.
I would know. I already caught him in a lie, and then he told the truth.
Yeah, you'd figure
that's how you. That's how you think. You know what I mean? Like, I called him in a lie, but then he told me the truth. You know what I mean? And that was his friends.
Yeah. Exactly. It was cool. It was cool.
You know what I mean?
And then it took someone else to be like, yeah, no, that's not what happened. I was hit. And you're like, fuck. Like, or eventually you yourself think of it over as an adult. And you're like, wow.
And there's like, it's weird, bro, because, there's also weird situations, like, I remember the first time I seen my dad shooting up, man, we didn't say nothing to each other, bro. Looked at each other, didn't say nothing to each other, never spoke about it to this day, bro. And I think about, like, what would you do if you caught, your son caught you doing that? You would think, like, you would have that talk with them at least. It's like, it kind of was like, bro, you already know. You already know what's going on. Oh, wow, you busted me. You know what I mean? Like, you already know I'm nodding out and shit. You already know what heroin is. You already know I'm an addict, so... And I remember we just never talked about it for the first time, man. And it was just it's so obvious too. Like, I can remember it, man. He was like, him and his boy came up. He's like, you ready? He's like, yeah, we're going downstairs. We were staying at a halfway house at the time, a halfway house, bro. They go down to the basement. I'm sitting with the manager of the halfway house. Goes to show you halfway houses, right? And they go downstairs. I get up. Manager doesn't stop me or nothing, bro. And I go right downstairs to, like, look what they're doing, because I just assumed it was something weird. Because why couldn't I go, right? Yeah. And I just peek down, I go down like 3 steps and I can see like this much literally. And I look at him and, bro, like, so weird as God would have it, bro. As soon as I look over, he looks over at the steps. And we're just like, I just go back up like that, bro. And like, this is literally as he's got a needle in his arm, shooting up, And I remember we just never talked about it, bro.
Yeah.
And I wish, like, he would have came up with a lie like he did for the kid, Like, I wish he had a lie.
Yeah.
Because I could have lived. Like,
I'm a diabetic.
Now, like, I'm in my head, like, trying to justify, because I'm always trying to justify why these people, anybody, we're trying to justify why these people we love would do these things. Like, well, he only lied because he only did that because he was hungry, or he only did that because of what happened in his childhood. But the truth is, bro, that we've all experienced a lot of things, and we have to figure out ways to get through things, bro. I've told you my dad's story before, off air. Like, it's brutal. You know what I mean? It's one of the worst stories I ever heard, bro. If anybody deserves to be an addict, it's my dad, dude. It really is. We gotta figure out a way to fix this shit before it gets to that point. You know?
Yeah.
Because my dad will tell you, over 40 times, bro, as he tells it, over 40 times. Police or social workers or school teachers knocked on his front door, bro, to check on him or one of his siblings. And not one time did someone walk in the house. Not one time did someone file a report. Nothing, bro. And this is while atrocities are being committed in that home. You know what I mean? One step after another, brother. One step after another. You know what I mean?
I mean, why do we have to be the one to end the generational curses?
Exactly, bro. It's a lot of pressure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, do you want to suck dick for heroin?
No. And you want a family?
Family.
Well, then there you go. So you're not gonna do heroin and suck
we love
dick
you all. Thank you for checking us out on our personal cast today. You know, tell our little personal shit. Tell our origin story. This was our origins, bro. We should have named it Origins.
162 Origins.
Origins, bro. Okay, it's the origin story, man. We love you all. Thank you for checking us out. We love doing this. So glad we could keep talking here. I don't give a fuck if the mic's working or not. Rock out with your cock out. Stay safe.
Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. Kendall Berryman.
Kendall.
The boys.
Shout out to you, boy. We love you. Stay safe.